And we're back, and I fucking didn't do something I was supposed to do. Give me uno mas as I correct my mistake. It happens.
Damn, the YouTube algorithm is gonna hate us.
The YouTube algorithm already hates me, but we don't talk about why that is. It just does. So, anyway, in the last session that you guys all had, we shut up, Darius. um, we had you guys go into a essentially a blood sport of the city of Mirage that was called Dune Racing, where you guys competed against several different teams and were the only surviving crew to get to the finish line. You had a couple of rough patches, getting a couple of you knocked a few times due to attacks and flame and other methods that the enemies had used against you, but in the end, you all survived with barely any health left over. And the night after your race, you all went to rest. There was a break-in, which led to the death of your hired, the individual who hired you by the name of Incris, who was killed in his sleep, throat slit, and the goods stolen by a hooded satyr individual who escaped through a window after exchanging a few words with Magnus and disappearing into the night.
Anyone hear somebody talking in the background?
That is a friend of mine.
Yes.
Yeah, he's behind me.
Yeah.
But where we continue, let's see, where shall we start here? Let's start with the new individual. See how we end up combining you guys.
You talk about me.
Yes, I speak of you, our
Ah,
Owland friend. You, when I say around, you have entered the city of Mirage with a paper in hand. The paper in hand gives an address and speaks of potential earnings in what is essentially a blood sport, which it didn't specify the time of which you needed to arrive. It just specified that the individual was looking for people. And you had gotten this piece of paper from a poster that you had found in the city of Pearl Bay, which is to the south of Mirage. As you travel through the city, looking around, you do end up finding this address. It appears to be a sort of two-story building with what looks to be two large metal doors that lead to a section of the building, as well as a side entrance that seems to be at the time locked. What would you like to do?
are there any windows nearby?
There are windows to the upper floors, and there are closed windows on the first floor.
Can I see any shadows in them?
Roll a perception check.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're through the steps, so that way it's not like corpse where you skip a couple, you know.
Oop. Got a 14.
Wasn't TJ in that?
It's not in there.
All right, I got a 14
sorry.
on that one.
A 14. You can hear voices within the building that seem to be talking to each other about something at the time. They all sound to be on the upper floor, though, of the building.
All right, I'm just gonna knock on the door, see if anyone answers, instead of breaking in.
The rest of you hear a knocking at the front door. Doing a very cliche way of introducing characters, but I'm doing it this way because this was the best route that I had come up with.
I'm gonna fucking go to the door, because to tell the truth, I wasn't expecting money from that snake motherfucker anyway. I'm gonna knock on the door. I'm not knock on the door. Fuck brain. I'm gonna open the door.
I'm gonna knock to the person outside the door.
Like you communicate
Magnus,
Morse code.
Magnus just like a single big knock on the door before opening it.
Is anyone else following him? Right now, Zimmel
I'll
is
go.
cleaning up a bit of the blood and preparing Incris's body.
I imagine this is kind of like interrupting our conversation from the end of last session, where we're kind of talking about like the dead person.
Yeah. It would just be like right after where we ended last time, where Zimmel went to go clean up the mess and you guys were still talking.
I mean, Journey's probably like saying like, "I can't believe we risk life and limb, and you don't care about the money."
Yeah, until Corpse took us through that heist.
All right. Magnus, you come to the door and you open to find. Well, how about you describe yourself for us?
The simulation thing.
Describe. Is it Earl? Earl? Would it be Earl?
Yeah, it's Earl.
Earl. Yeah. Describe
Who's
Earl
coming
to
to the
us.
door? Is it Magnus? You're the Goliath,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, 8 foot, 300-pound pure muscle Goliath.
All right, so you probably open the door. You wouldn't see anyone right away, and then I don't know. I'll poke you on the leg. You're gonna look down. You're gonna see this like 3 foot
Adorable
little-
owl.
little owl. He looks like a horn, like color pattern like a horned owl. Just a little man. I got a bow staff on my back and I have a little cloak on, and I kind of just look up. I guess I'll say who. I'll wait for a response.
Magnus just looks over at Journey. Is just personally seeing him dead was worth as much money as he was trying to give us. And he turns back to this owl and just, what the fuck are you?
Journey peeks around. Magnus is like, Balrog's looking a lot different from the last time we saw him.
Oh no, we brought
Wrong
back Balrog.
I'm gonna be like, you're a pretty tall character. Just walk in a little bit.
Just walks past him.
Yeah, just walk by. Really, I heard there was a
But you
blood
win, but,
sport going
sure.
on.
Yeah,
you missed it.
What are you? Who are you?
Who? Sorry, owl jokes. My name's Errol. I'm a distant traveler. Looking to just make some coin.
I was gonna go through
Oh, sorry to tell you this, but the jackpot got stolen, and now there's no money.
Why are you telling a stranger anything?
I agree.
Because it's
with
what
the
I
big
do.
man
I'm
here.
a bard. I'm supposed to be sociable and bubbly.
That doesn't
Okay.
mean telling someone you just met everything.
I don't know.
well,
Whenever we walk into taverns, it seems like all the bartenders spill their guts to us, and they always get what they want. Maybe if I do it, I'll get what I want.
Well, sounds like you guys are in a bit of a predicament. Well, I'd be willing to help you out if I could get some of the coin.
And
What
why
exactly
wouldn't
do
share
you
coin with
do?
you?
Not Balrog.
What did you ask?
What's your profession?
Oh, I could do this, and then I'm gonna go over to the Goliath shadow and just hop into it, pop out behind the bard.
Neat trick.
Subsistence but enhanced.
Yeah, comes in handy.
Yeah.
I could also
Well,
break
can you-
kneecaps.
I'm assuming it's just.
Because that's probably pretty easy for somebody of your stature.
Are you calling me short?
Yes,
No. I'm calling you well equipped to attack somebody's kneecaps.
I am calling you short. You're short.
Let's go,
Oh.
big man.
You hear from behind you, Errol. You hear a female voice that just says, "I wouldn't recommend that." And as you turn, you find a tabaxi standing behind you that you hadn't heard enter the room or seen moving around the room. Cloaked individual, these emerald green eyes, golden fur, as she just kind of looks over you carefully.
Alright, if the next random person who walks in here doesn't know a satyr who just made a very large amount of money, I am going to fucking kill them, open their skull, and drink wine from it.
Wait, what is that for?
Slowly back away from the tabaxi and be like, I'm not a fan of cats.
She almost gives you a look of both irritation and also confusion.
It's a long story.
Mm-hmm. All right. She just kind of wanders off to a different part of the room towards what looks to be almost like a kitchen area. And as this is happening, you see a half-orc man walking down the steps with a lifeless individual draped over his shoulders. What looks to be bleeding wounds wrapped up. That he is now making his way towards the door, and he kind of stops at the sight of you. Just says, "What's all this?"
This like bird dude just kind of showed up. So he was looking for work.
There's a blood game. Sounds enjoyable.
It was enjoyable. Now it's over.
Well, all right. I'm gonna go look for more adventures then.
Okay.
He just kind of looks over all of you and just kind of pushes his way past. He says, "I'm gonna go take Incarus to the healer that I know. She owes me anyways. So I'll see you guys around, whatever you pick to do." He kind of makes it.
Who's the cat?
The cat's Trinket. You recognize her. I didn't say her name because of him.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's Trinket. It's Trinket. Trinket! You got mad at Trinket. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Sorry. I thought she's the only yellow tabaxi I've introduced to you guys.
Anyone. You didn't say a name, so I'm just like...
I should have said it's Trinket to you guys. I apologize. She, and...
That's hilarious.
Yeah. As Zimmel leaves, she kind of comes back over to the group and just kind of looks over everyone again and just says, "So, what is the plan for today?"
Oh, I don't know about you, but I want to track down the rat bastard that stole the money we almost died for, and then hang him by his entrails.
Magnus is going to leave.
Oh, okay. See you, Magnus.
Ooh, I'm down for hanging a man. Can I keep his leg?
He's a satyr. Those guys have nice legs, right? Yeah, you can keep the legs.
This is a little dark even for me, but okay. Usually just slit the throat and leave.
No, I'm gonna keep his leg.
Made it personal when he stole all of our cash.
Do you want to take his fingers then?
I don't have any interest in his fingers. I just want my goddamn money back.
Alright, well, I'll help you if I can keep the leg.
Okay.
If I can keep the leg.
Yeah. Keep the leg, hell, keep both legs. I don't care.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just want my money back, and our muscle doesn't sound like he's particularly interested in chasing down this vendetta. And you seem stealthily inclined, so...
Is she coming with us? I point over to the tabaxi.
Hey, Trinket, you want money? You want our money back?
Yeah, your plan seems a bit off, and I don't want to go off pissing into wizards' hats, alright?
Oh, did you say wizard?
I think it's an expression of like, speech.
Oh, never
okay,
mind then.
now maybe I'm a bit rash. We do need a plan of attack here. We can't go...
So, did you leave, Magnus? Are you, like, completely leaving?
Yeah, it's because I want to catch up to the orc.
Oh, okay, you're catching up to Zimmel.
Yeah, I need to ask him something.
So we're all bickering about this.
Yes, you're all bickering. So yes, you catch up to Zimmel, who's making his way down the street with Incarus's body over his shoulders.
Besides freezing those pyramids.
Where are the? Is this entire city just saturated with those of of the criminal nature, or is there a better place to find satyr thieves than around here?
Probably try up towards the north. Go around where the slums and the lower class tend to hang out. There's a lot of dealings and thieves groups that work around that area.
I've yet to get into a freaking game of Magic.
Thank you. And that's the direction I'll head. You see, Magnus is a man of action, not of bickering with idiots.
Let's go back to the idiots real quick.
So where'd your buddy go?
He just kind of goes off sometimes. You know, sometimes it results in good stuff happening. Sometimes he just disappears for a little bit. Nothing happens. His way.
Sometimes it's not always good.
No, I think he honestly just gets overwhelmed by the social anxiety.
Oh yeah, the remastered version of it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
adorable.
Anyway, we have another Andraka. He's asleep on the roof, isn't he? I mean, we have this lizard guy who talks even less than Magnus. He's a cool lightning cannon though, so we keep him around.
On that thought, Andraka, roll a Constitution save for me to see how you fared in the night. Considering winter is coming.
Was it night? Didn't we wake up at the end of last session?
Yeah, it was like early in the morning. Did I make you do that at the beginning?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Are you just with the group? Have you just been in the upstairs area?
I mean, I don't remember what I did at the end of last session.
We'll just say you're.
Make a Constitution roll.
I mean, so basic. I'm pretty sure that I went to the room to see what happened, but I would have gone back onto the roof after all this started.
Okay, so we already had that con save stuff. Okay, good to remember. It's been 2 weeks. That's why I forgot. All right, so yeah, you're on the roof, and you can hear the others below you.
I'm gonna try to do the bond with my cannon.
I will say you already did it because I feel like you would have done that before you slept. Because it's the soul bonding thing that you have with it, right? The weapon, the bound weapon. Yeah. So it would have already been soul bounded to you.
Okay.
So. But yes, you hear the others below you speaking to one another as they exit the building. Trinket closing the door behind the rest of you.
Yes.
I'm gonna take to the air, see if I could find any. You said a satyr?
Yes.
Where the fuck that is?
Goat man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lower half of the body is a goat, upper half's a human, got ram's horns. Type deal.
Okay.
I thought the person I spoke to last night was a woman.
No, it was a man.
Huh.
I didn't specify gender, but it was a dude.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna fly around, see if I can see anyone that looks like that.
I'm gonna say roll a perception check. What is Journey and Andraka going to do?
Gonna be prowling the streets. Look out for any suspicious satyr men.
Got a 28.
Wow, that's a pretty damn good roll. What about you, Andraka? What are you doing?
I mean, would I have seen them leave the house?
You would have seen them, yeah.
Okay. If I see Journey leave, I'll just jump down and follow her.
Okay. So Journey, Trinket, and Andraka are roaming the streets, and with your 28, in the time that it would take the others to kind of. And Journey, which direction would you have been traveling to? Because you guys are kind of on the you're on the eastern side of town. And the west side, I think, was where the junkyard was. So yeah, you're on the eastern side of town. Where would you like to go from this point?
Probably go towards the bad side of town. I guess the west, probably.
Okay, so you're gonna head westward, and I'm gonna double check that I was right about where the junkyard was.
I'm gonna head east.
I don't have the right notes. That's fine. Yes, so you're gonna head opposite side of town. Okay, so in your time of flying around, you do notice Magnus at one point making his way north, significantly further than Journey and them as they passed through the point that he had actually passed through probably 10 minutes prior. You do see the others as well traveling to the west side of town, and while you are traveling as well, you see a couple shady figures here and there. And with the 28, you would notice that most of them are of a human-like appearance for most of them, and most of them seem to be a lot of these shifty figures are humans, elves, one or two dwarves you see, and you do notice 3 different satyrs that have been moving around the city.
Okay. Oh shit! I probably should have asked for a description of the satyr.
Guess who's the only one who
The only one who knows the description is Magnus.
The bosses are so talented now, I hate this.
You said I could see Magnus, though, right? And I see
You could
the
see
other guys?
Magnus, and you did see where the other ones were headed.
Okay. I'm gonna head towards Magnus, I guess.
Okay, Magnus, roll a perception check because you would have been started your search at the time as well.
I'm gonna make a mental note of where the other guys are going, though.
I was also supposed
Perception?
to go to high value
Yes.
target. I forgot.
Alright. 22.
Let's go.
So you easily find your way to a shadier part of the town, actually passing through a few areas that seem to have black markets within a lot of these buildings. A couple old warehouses that, upon peeking inside, you see people selling
Of course he wouldn't mute.
strange substances, caged animals, various types, weapons, armors, things of that nature. A lot of these individuals look very shady and also look armed to the teeth and ready to go if anyone tried to intervene with their sales.
I'm looking for... How do I explain it? I'm looking for the kind of person... Like, I'm looking for begging homeless or street urchins or prostitutes because they're the kind of people who keep their eye out looking for... trying to, like, see whatever they can see, but they're also the kind of person that everyone attempts to ignore. Those are the kind of people I want to talk to.
Okay, so there are a couple throughout the streets, mostly the kind of the homeless type that you were speaking of. Not too many harlots hanging around this area, or prostitutes of any kind. It would be mainly the kind of homeless folk. Street urchins, there aren't really that many who keep to these streets. They generally position themselves within a building. But you can find a homeless individual. Because there are plenty.
The satyr I spoke to, what were their distinguishing features again?
They had full-grown, kind of, not huge ram horns, but ones that curved at least a full 360. They look to be of about middle age, brownish hair, based on what you could tell, what little you could tell, and the eyes that you had seen from it were I want to say almost a glowing purplish.
All right. Magnus is gonna find, like, one of the beggars, especially one who like finds themselves on like a busy street corner, because the ones like who try to stay in the middle of the street, they're always annoying. They're not paying attention to anything. But the ones who stay to the sides, especially those in high movement areas, they remember shit well. And he's just gonna find whichever one looks like they're some semblance of both conscious and like not half dead.
So, in your search, let me double check my notes here on what you can find. No, I didn't make a note on this. I'm actually just bullshitting you. You end up finding what looks to be a halfling who's curled up against the side of one building, tattered robe kind of wrapped around him. You watched for a moment or so as he stared at several groups of people that were passing, seeming to take in, based on what you could tell, a significant amount of detail about them. And he just doesn't move though as you'd watched him. And you approach him. How do you wish to approach this halfling individual?
Do they have like a hat or something out for busking? Something with some coins in it?
Yeah.
In front of them is like a kind of like a can of sorts.
Oh god. Magnus, like, he crouches in front of the halfling and he drops 10 gold in the can, and he just says, "I'm looking for someone who stole from me. And you seem like someone who has eyes on these roads. There's more gold if you help me."
Well, what kind of individual are you looking for?
Satyr, purple hue to the eyes, almost glowing. Ram horns fully curved. Brownish hair, short length. Very recently made a very large amount of money, if that helps.
There are quite a few satyrs that run through here. Let me think. He's kind of like tapping his chin and thinking, like, kind of looking off into the distance for a moment. And he says, I believe there's one that hangs around. Kind of pulls a small, tattered piece of parchment from his pocket and nicks the tip of his finger with a dagger he had on him, and kind of in his own blood, because he doesn't have an inkwell, just kind of writes something down as neatly as he can on this paper and hands it to you, which appears to be an address of sorts. He says he tends to hang around there.
Magnus just drops an extra 20 gold into the can and walks away.
You watch the moment that you start walking away, he like goes for the can and quickly like hides away the money and puts the empty can back in front of him and like looks around to make sure nobody saw him get that money as he's like suckling on the slightly bleeding finger. He just goes back to his normal position.
With my passive perception, or that perception check I made before, like, would I know that Errol has been following me?
I was gonna
You would have seen him flying overhead at one point. It would be around this point, or probably a moment or two after you started walking down the street, he would make his appearance. Because he's not being stealthy in any kind of way, so it'd be pretty easy to notice him flying around.
Bored of things.
So
Magnus is just like, is he still flying, or?
Errol, as you spot Magnus and you find him, what would you like to do as he is walking away from an individual that seems to be wrapped in robes and such?
I'll try to land next to him. I'm assuming you're walking at this point, right, Magnus?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna be like hopping, maybe speed walking to keep up with your large steps.
Super mom in a Walmart.
I got you, Jonathan.
So I'm like scooting along and be like, hey, so I saw 3 of those goat people over in this direction. What do you happen to know what the gentleman looked like by any chance?
Brown hair, glowing purple eyes, ram horns. Don't worry about it. Unless they were near this address, they weren't the right ones.
Does the address match up with the area I saw?
Let's roll. What kind of check would this be? Let's roll a. Let's call it a straight intelligence check because you're new to the city. So let's see if you would be able to kind of figure out the address based on what you've seen so far.
Fuck. I got a 2.
You have no idea where that address is. You just know that you know the location you saw them. You have no information on how what the area is called.
Do I remember seeing any satyrs that fit that description though?
You know that 2 of them did have ram's horns. You didn't see their eyes.
I see.
And they did have, one of them did have brown hair, but you don't know if it was the one because you didn't get the eye color.
I'm gonna look up at Magnus and be like, all right, kind of a brick right now. I'm new to this area, but I'll go circle overhead.
No. No. If you want to be useful, find the others and tell them to meet me in front of this address. And after, like, reading the paper, like, an extra 2 or 3 times to remember it himself, he hands over the piece of paper to Errol.
All right. Can I dash and fly? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So,
The ability
Tech-
to fly faster.
Technically, your flight speed, because I think you have a, 45 speed?
55.
55. So your flight speed, if you were to use your movement, take a dash action, and then take another dash action because of your uncanny action or whatever, you can go 165 feet in a turn.
I would also be dodging in and out of shadows along the way to close the distance.
Okay, yeah. So you would get there pretty quick. You would get there pretty quick.
I'm gonna be like, all right, on it, and then just fucking Sonic take off.
Man literally built himself a Sonic. All right, so you end up finding the others fairly easily because it wasn't hard to track where they were going to go, and they're not moving too quickly.
All right.
5 more stasis skills. Come on.
I guess fly up to them, be like, hey, found Magnus. He's going to this location. Told me to come find you guys. Let's get a move on.
Verify he is looking for our thief.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
he didn't
seems
really seem to have his heart set on it, but we'll take it.
Yes.
seems like he was talking to some beggar.
Well, he's rarely been wrong before, so.
I don't know if a man of his stature needs backup, but let's go give it to him just in case.
Knowing him,
when
it'll
I
get messy.
When I find the address, I'm going to find, like, a alleyway across from wherever the address is, just because, I mean, I may have saw them, but they definitely saw me, so I'm finding somewhere to not full on hide, but he is just gonna, like, find a very dark corner and sit in it within an alleyway across from this address.
Okay. You do position yourself there. A few people walk by the time. Nobody really pays you much attention. This area, it's pretty normal for people to be, skulking around in alleyways and keeping to the shadows and things of that nature. You do see the others approaching the building, though. Probably roughly 30 minutes to like an hour later once they reach where you are. By this point, it's roughly probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Magnus would just like. Magnus would definitely be the kind to like know some bird calls, so he would just do whatever call he knows for like an owl.
Just literally just hoo hoo hoo.
I'm gonna hear that and put my hood up and then make a stealth roll.
You said,
Okay.
"What about my mother?"
Alright.
That doesn't even pass my passive perception.
He's got advantage because of
He has
an elven
advantage.
cloak.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 18, so I'm gonna
18.
just
All right, you feel pretty well off the radar from people. People don't seem to be noticing you as you pass by, nearing this building. Trinket is going to do the same. Which she also, you actually barely notice that she's following you, is how quiet she is.
I'll do the same. I can roll with advantage because I have boot spellmankind.
Oh yes, everyone has the ability to be stealthy.
Okay. So that's
Magnus
a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Okay, this one's a nat 20, so 26.
Why?
Magnus
Journey
just sees like these.
We're gonna be going
Magnus
along the
sees
edges of the
these
building.
disappearing from around Andraka, and he just whistles like to grab Andraka's attention because obviously the fucking covert thing didn't work.
I'm just
People
imagining, like,
vanish from sight. Lizard keeps walking, doesn't give a shit.
all of us but Andraka could probably hide behind Magnus.
So not hide in his shadow.
Magnus just like does like the kind of whistle you use to call a horse just to get Andraka's attention.
Andraka.
I turn to look at him.
It's just a very fucking annoyed just wave to come over here.
I'll slowly walk over there.
This lizard has attitude, I swear to God.
Well, as long as you begin to walk over there, that means like fucking the other 3 who just disappear for no reason will as well.
And they do. So you all meet up in this alleyway just across from this building.
I just appear behind Magnus and just tap on his leg. You're like, that was a shitty call.
I don't care.
Imagine I'm just peeking down over like one of those awnings they have in front of like over building entrances. Why'd we sneak over here?
Because while I have seen our quarry, they have definitely seen me.
Okay, well, they've probably seen Andraka. But okay.
I
So
don't care.
What's the plan?
This address is where they hang around. So I suggest those that our thief hasn't seen go in the front. I'll go in the back.
They spawned me all the way outside.
The owl knows their description. And well, now Magnus is gonna try to like kind of use the crowd to get to the alleyways that lead to behind this address without bringing too much attention to himself. Also, I completely Yeah.
What were you saying?
I completely forgot about this. New player means a new person to make a fucking history check on Magnus's tattoos.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Magnus's tattoos, mainly because we haven't talked about them in like 8 episodes. So sure.
History check.
Yes, and do it with advantage because you're from Tiberia. Actually, no, you wouldn't need to roll this check, probably. That's sufficient enough, actually, anyways. You would recognize Magnus as a raider from the country
Yeah, I
of
was
the
like,
meat
I am
grinder.
a-
Since
Lovely
you've
old
had
man.
history with raiders in the past, you do recognize his tattooing.
See it, Juan,
They
see
are
it,
his
Juan.
tattoos do not match those of your past,
What are these doing?
but are definitely
Just
familiar
about to
to you.
ask.
Yeah, they're not the same. It's not the same group that you dealt with,
Okay.
but it is a raider. He is a raider nonetheless. So there is a
Yeah,
sore
these
spot
are-
there.
These are
slowly but surely
raider
catching
tats
up.
for like the guys who mostly attack, who like most regularly attack Tiberia.
Well, yours
These are
are
blood
you
ghost
had some that are
tats.
specific that are for certain every city state has its own tattoo type, right?
Yeah, like these are blood gulch raider tats. Then there's a tattoo for like the specific party he was
Yeah.
in, and then the brand, and then the chimera brand under his tat signifies that he is a mutant of some sort.
Yes.
I haven't
So,
looked at the
yeah,
enclave to
The
so long.
people that had attacked that were a part of the attack that you had witnessed in your past were from a different
Yeah, next time we go to the enclave.
city than
check
him.
it out.
But you do recognize him as a raider nonetheless. There is a sore spot there.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, gonna kind of scowl at that. We're like, so what's the plan?
No, he's noticed. Completely
You
forgot
go in
about
the
that. Wish I
front.
thought about that earlier.
You go in the front to find our quarry. I go in the
What?
back where they won't see me.
You just want me to knock, ask them if they want to learn about our Lord and Savior, Owl Christ?
I don't much care for how you get in as long as you don't scare them away. And you've already shown at least you're fast.
Okay. So
I'm
you
gonna-
cover the back, we go through the front, cover all methods of escape.
If
I'm
you
gonna
spook
pull
them,
my
push them
locket.
towards a back door.
I have polymorph. I could turn him into a slug if I wanted to.
I'm just gonna pull out a
Maybe I will.
locket
All right,
and put
the
it
flame
over
is
the owl
shit
cloak
legendary.
and be like, okay, I have something in mind.
Oh boy.
All right. My stealth check to
Yeah, I forgot.
get
I
behind
actually
that
thought
building,
one for
Tyler.
things.
What's my stealth mod? Fuck, brain. Oh, there we go. 19.
You feel pretty well blended in as you pass behind the building. You do notice with your passive, as you were passing the front area, the front door, which you remember being closed, is now cracked open. And as you look back at the party, Trinket's not with them.
Well, at least somebody knows how to do their job.
Oh, I missed. Nice.
And the rest
I'm
of you,
gonna-
as you guys are looking around, do notice the same thing, and you do notice that
Yeah, I
Trinket,
had to put on plug
as you kind of look towards the door, you do see Trinket just inside the building kind of peek out towards you guys before dipping back into the building.
Ah!
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm assuming there's some shadows in the building.
Yeah, it's relatively dark inside the
Yeah,
building,
we
as you
have
can tell.
lives.
Okay, I'm gonna like sidestep from the alley shadow into the
Oh, we can make it.
inside room shadow.
You peer just inside the building.
It's
You see
fine.
Trinket
We can salvage this.
shifting around the edge of this room. And this room it seems to be a large, almost a warehouse space of sorts. Looking around, most of the shelves are empty or have boxes on them that don't seem to have any kind of contents within them. And you do also notice that there is in the center of this space, there seems to be almost a hatch that's opened with a staircase leading down.
And
Real quick though, Journey, And Andraka, what are you guys doing as you see your owlin friend vanish and Trinket disappear into the building?
Oh, I am going to cast invisibility as a 3rd level,
Okay.
which means I can turn myself and Andraka invisible.
Okay. So you are both invisible. And I assume you guys go for the building.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys make your way into the building, seeing the same similar space. You see Trinket moving along the edge, kind of looking over stuff, kind of skulking around, trying to be as quiet as possible and looking around. Errol, what do you wish to do? Because you were going to say something. As the others enter the building behind you,
Sorry, I was grabbing a drink. I kind of move around, like staying hidden behind the boxes, making my way towards that trap door.
okay. Magnus, you come to the back door. Sturdy, kind of solid wooden door. As you try at the door, it seems to be locked.
I'm gonna pick the lock.
Are you proficient with thieves' tools? Do you have any?
I have thieves' tools, yeah.
Are you proficient with them?
No, but that shouldn't stop me from being able to use sleight of hand with it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say then regular sleight of hand check.
Yeah. That is a 17.
You fiddle with the lock for a moment, and it just doesn't seem to want to budge. I'm gonna roll. Where is? Okay. And as you're doing this, because it takes a minute or two, you kind of pull the lockpicks out from it, and kind of angrily looking at the lockpicks and trying to figure out why the door isn't working, and you hear a click from the other side before the door opens slightly, and you see Trinket peeking out to you. She kind of gives you a small smile.
He just nods at Trinket, puts away his tools. Looking into this building and even looking at the exterior, is there a second floor?
There seems to be kind of upper landings within this building on the inside that seem to look down on this warehouse space.
Nothing else? No rooms or anything?
There seems
of
to
that
be a
nature?
singular room with a staircase that's right next to this back door that leads up to it. You would assume it's probably some sort of almost like an office space or something of that nature. Kind of a place to keep paperwork and desk and stuff like that.
Don't worry, I got the Jesus hops now, baby.
Just Magnus looks at Trinket. He points at the trap door and just whispers to her, just cover it, make sure no one leaves there, and then he's gonna check that office.
Probably.
Pretty leaning over this trap door at this point.
Okay. Roll a perception check, and Trinket's going to come over and look into the area as well.
Got a 21.
You can see clearly down the staircase. It seems to go into a large chamber that seems to be roughly 40, 50 feet underground. And you can hear within the space there's someone humming to themselves downstairs. And you also see the very dim light coming from what you assume to probably be a lantern in the space, as it seems to only be casting from a certain angle instead of flowing throughout the room.
Is there only one lantern lit down there? Is that the only one?
As you can tell, there's only one, because you don't see the lantern directly. You can see the light dimly coming from it.
Okay. Just gonna look up at Trinket. Is she near?
She's standing right next to you.
Oh shit, that's terrifying.
Like, she came up next to you, you didn't hear her at first, and you kind of glanced over and she was just there.
Man, cats don't even fucking prey on owls.
My cat did, but I don't know.
Your cat's a fucking legend.
It's impressive. I'm just gonna look up, nod towards down there, be like, "You think we should go?"
Mother of Knights.
We should wait for a second. I think if we wait for the others to be ready,
Yeah, I don't have
we can
enough
check,
doctors
and if
for
something
all
goes
this.
wrong, they'll be there.
Juan, you gotta res him. I don't have a token.
I'm gonna nod and then ready my gloves. Oh, actually,
She's-
they're on.
Yeah, she's gonna kind of look up towards Andraka and Journey and gesture for you two to come over.
We're
They're
invisible.
Oh, right. That's right. Never mind. She wouldn't know you're there. Then on that note, while she is there, she's going to take the time. You watch as she, all of you see as she pulls out what looks to be a spool of silver wire, and she begins whispering something under her breath as she begins to kind of hang this wire around, and the spool almost doesn't seem to empty as she does this. And as she's hanging this wire, it seems to almost fade. And she, if someone wants to roll an Arcana check, you would be able to identify the spell that she's casting.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Arcana, go. Dirty 23.
That's good enough. You know she's casting the spell Alarm, and she's casting it in a large radius around this, roughly 30 feet around this hatch. As she roughly a 20-foot sphere.
Oh yeah, she's
Around
cast that around our campsite before.
Yes. So she's casting this spell around the hatch, and once she's done, she kind of goes back to her spot. Magnus, during this time, roll a perception check for me, Magnus, as you go up into this upper space.
We ran out of time.
It's only a 15.
Okay. You go up into this upper space. It looks to be there's a few old desks, empty, would almost look to be drawers of some sort that probably held records or supplies of some sort, but are now kind of barren, some of which are broken. Glancing around the space, you do not see anything of particular value up here. And it does look to be just almost an observation deck kind of set up to look down on the warehouse below. That's really all you find, though.
All right.
And you do see the others all preparing underneath. You did see Trinket casting a spell around the space before returning to the hatch and just kind of sitting there and waiting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to the hatch. Now, I want to, take a really good look at because I want to look down the hatch. I don't really care about, really important stuff I'm noticing other than the general terrain. Does it look like at the bottom of these stairs, it opens up down there, or does it seem like it's pretty constrictive space down there?
It's an open space. The ceiling's a little lower based on what you can tell than what you would like, probably. But it seems to be an open, a large open chamber down there. But you can't really tell anything other than that. From where the stairs are, it only shows so much of the room.
Magnus looks over at Trinket, just, will it be better to set an ambush or go into their territory? I don't know if they're magic.
I can take a look and then can let you know if it'd be an idea to come down.
Look to see if they look especially for any escape routes for them down there. If there are none, we set up an ambush up here. Easier when we know the terrain.
She gives you a nod, flips up her hood, and begins to descend the staircase. And even to your surprise, Errol, you can't hear her passing by. It's almost like the wind, but even quieter. As she creeps down the staircase and she peeks, you see her reach the bottom. She's peeking around before quickly making her way back up the stairs, and she stops in front of all of you, and she says, "It looks like he's alone. There's a second room, but it doesn't seem to lead anywhere, and there's what almost looks to be a hole, some sort of tunnel that I couldn't see exactly where it went. The lantern light that he has is kind of obscuring my ability to see through it."
Hmm.
Is the hole dark?
It's fairly dark in there, yes. What I could tell, it opened into a different underground space, but I couldn't tell anything beyond that.
I'm gonna look
So
at
are there
Magnus.
like boxes and stuff around in this place?
You talking about the warehouse itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there any that look like they're not stacked very well?
They're mostly empty boxes. Most of them are lacking lids, or they're partly destroyed.
All my grenades,
There are one or two that look to be stacked, but like could be knocked down pretty easily.
Yeah, I just want something that's... Okay, so Magnus just looks around. It's just... Andraka, Trinket, get to the observation deck. You'll cover us from above. Fuck, where's the lizard?
I didn't see them come in.
I
I'm
don't...
just gonna lightly throw a pebble at Magnus.
Oh, of course. If you can't hear me, I don't care. If you can, Andraka, go to the observation deck with Trinket. You'll cover us from above, Journey. Just find somewhere where you can, if you're going to be more of a ranged combatant, find somewhere where you won't be targeted.
Oh boy.
Errol.
I don't think we can finish it.
I could sit in the tunnel and block his exit if it's dark enough.
No, we want him to come up here. Hide in the rafters. Yes. Hide in the rafters.
I'm just gonna nod back up and shadow step into the rafters.
All right.
Magnus is going to, actually, no. He actually stops. Journey. Actually, no, don't find some corner. You hide behind the hatch door. When he comes up here, you close it. And Magnus is going to go to both of the both the front and the back door, and he's just gonna close them and lock them.
Okay.
Honestly, I think if we just
Position myself behind that hatch.
And then Magnus, he's gonna find some of those stacked boxes, and he just wants to find one, like a box that's big enough for him to crouch behind with
I'll pop my
like
super so I can go get her ghost. Like, sit
and
down.
he's gonna like
Let's see if it
just
works.
nudge a box. He's just gonna nudge one of the stacked boxes off until it falls on its own.
Okay, so the box hits the ground with a loud crack as it splinters out a little bit. The old wood the dry old wood kind of shattering almost as it hits the ground, and you hear the humming downstairs stop. And you hear a voice just say, is someone up there? I'm armed, and I'm not afraid for a fight. Silence follows, and you hear the sound of light steps slowly making their way up. The lantern light kind of coming along with it. Roll a perception check for me, whoever would like to.
Okay, perception check.
27.
Dirty 17.
Okay, so everyone but Androck. Everyone, all of you do see as this satyr individual, hood up, everything, is holding this lantern as he's coming up. He has multiple bags kind of hanging off of him. One of which is familiar to you, Magnus, from the night that from the previous night where he snuck out. And he stops just a few steps down from the top, just enough that his head is peeking up, and he is looking around. The others who rolled higher, you hear other noises, a very low.
Someone rolled higher than a 21.
And no, the
Yeah.
rest of you is 17 and higher. Yeah, Errol rolled a 27. You hear this almost guttural, soft growling coming from below the stairs. And Errol, you can see what looks to be like something crawling some distance behind this satyr. And as he's looking around, kind of shining the lantern around, not really able to see anyone, he says, "Am I going crazy, or
I really miss my hunter.
somebody there?
That tether and the weakening with the void grenades.
We can talk about this."
No, he's up here. I'll close the hatch, I guess.
Oh, he's not off the stairs yet, so
Oh,
he's still in the
okay.
hatch space. He's peeking up. His head's the only thing really coming out.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Okay, just closes the door on his head, just clunk.
Is it day or nighttime out?
Outside it is day. Within this warehouse, it is dark.
Should I cast a minor illusion to make like bird noises?
It's your choice.
I don't know if minor illusion requires speaking. I don't know how magic works.
If you click on it, does it say what are the letters it says for components?
Somatic and material.
It does not require verbal components, so you do not have to speak. You just have to make a movement for it.
Okay.
And being as well hidden as you are, you can make the movement and easily do the thing.
Yeah. I'll make the movement and fucking
Oh, okay, cool. I have
cast some
something.
illusion.
So he as this bird sound kind of erupts within the space a little bit, you see as the satyr crouches a little bit, as if he's like almost trying to dodge something, as like a response to the sound, and just like, what the hell is going on? And as he's saying this, you all hear this wet kind of, almost like something getting shot out of something, and Errol, you see this the best out of everyone. You see a pinkish, almost tendril-like thing come out of the dark from behind him and wrap around his head and muffle him as he is yanked backwards down the stairs.
Oh.
I just peek over the hatch and look down. Like it's still
What the
invisible.
hell is that?
Yeah, no, as soon as that happens, Magnus just gets up and he just like, if he gets pulled down, Magnus just goes down the stairs. Everyone can see him, so it's not like he needs to say follow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow him.
Magnus, because the way the lantern falls, it kind of shines a bit down the staircase, and you see at the bottom of the staircase, the legs of the satyr getting dragged out of sight while two humanoid-like entities are shifting around. They seem to be shaking erratically, kind of bones cracking as they snap in weird positions, and
Magnus
they
is
both
gonna kick-
look.
Oh wait,
You're not all the way down the stairs yet, but they look up at you as you are making your way down. These dull, gray eyes staring at you before the heads of both of them seem to split. And the splitting seems to go all the way down to roughly halfway down these creatures' bodies, revealing the space that is splitting is a giant maw filled with teeth.
that feels like something from a Mind Flayer's lab.
I need you to
and
roll
then-
initiative. Because you are running towards these and they're ready for you. So I need everyone to roll initiative because my combat encounter that I've been...
I rolled a nat 1.
You are in shock by what you've just seen, Jim.
But at least I'm invisible.
Yes.
16.
19.
Okay. And Draka?
9.
A 9.
Yeah.
16.
Well, some of the
and then
fragments do nerf
Trinket.
some stats, you know.
Journey. Now let me roll for these things. Fucking dice got cocked. Okay.
How many of these things did you say there were?
There are 2 of these strange humanoid creatures that seem to use the upper half of the body as a giant mouth that seems to split down the middle to reveal these giant rows of teeth. So first in the order is actually Magnus. As you rush these creatures who are, as the mouth opens, they both let out this hellish screech towards you.
I think
Huh. You know,
there we go. All right, now
I
we can
feel
focus on
like...
where is she?
You know what? Actually, you know what? Here.
Oh,
Nate,
rats, yay.
damage or
I can
defense?
handle those actually.
Well, I can theoretically cast 2 charges of polymorph, meaning we could transform both of them and squash them pretty quickly.
So which one?
Notice the way polymorph works. Damage done to the polymorph form only affects the form, and then whatever damage is left over goes to the creature, and they just
good
change
point.
back.
That means I can hold it for an hour, and we could basically eliminate 1 combatant.
Okay, but which one? Damage or defense?
Damage or defense? Let's go damage.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to go into a rage, and then that's gonna happen. So,
yes.
all right.
Rajay.
Closest one, the one furthest to the left. Actually, let's go that way.
Okay, yeah. There's one to the left, one to the right.
I'm going for the one to the
Did you guys get a
left.
second chest?
Okay. Roll your attack against my creature.
For some reason, I did not get a second chest.
22.
How do I swap?
That is a hit.
Cool.
Roll damage.
Alright, so let's see.
It's because when I was on my Titan, I swapped
There we go.
to normal. Yeah. Well,
So that's
What's
14
that?
slashing damage and 14 slashing damage and 8 psychic damage.
well, that's the state of the mission anyways. Let's just talk to him.
Okay. As you strike this thing, your blade doesn't cut as deep
Little
as
mishap.
you want it to, as it wields back a little bit, and it doesn't seem all that affected by the normal
Shit, I know what I did.
internal effects of the blade striking it, as most creatures do.
Isn't this a magical weapon?
It is, but the creature seems to be able to fight against it in some way.
Crush him? I want to crush him.
Just making sure.
This is. I know your weapon's magical. I kept that as a note.
Yeah. That's good. That's just fuck my dice. There we go. That's a 13.
That is a miss. So you go for a second swing as this thing snaps at your blade and catches it for a moment before you yank it back.
Ah, man, if only I crit on 19s. So,
A 19 does hit.
that's a 27.
That still hits.
Okay.
No.
13 slashing damage and 7 psychic damage.
Right back as I try to fix this.
Ah, yes, the same amount of damage as last time, just different numbers.
Yeah, and that's my turn.
All right. Errol. I'm going to say it wrong 100 times. Just how it goes.
That's a random name generator. You're good.
Pretty good name. Wouldn't have thought of it myself.
What do I use to hit someone? What stat is that?
So if you go into your actions, there's the unarmed strike or your quarterstaff. It should be what is listed under your actions.
Okay, that's cool.
And what you would do is you're going to click the button that has the hit/DC. So you have your quarterstaff, your unarmed strike, and your darts.
All right. I'm gonna fly in towards the one that Magnus was hitting.
Okay. And because of your level, you do get to make 2 attack actions in 1 action, as you are still learning. So
I could also take the fucking bonus action to do unarmed strikes on both of them to get 4 attacks, right?
if you use a key point to use a flurry of blows, you get 2 more attacks with it. Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Throw more good old punches at this man. I apologize. I'm several shots deep.
So right next to unarmed strike, you'll just click that +8, and it will roll the dice for you. Or you can roll it in person and actually roll your dice and just add the +8. 24 does hit.
All right, I'm gonna roll the other 3 as well, and then I'll do the damage.
That's a 20. Wait, before you roll any more, roll that nat 20 damage real quick.
Oh yeah, that's definitely why. Yeah.
Just because it doubles the dice. So that one's 16.
I see.
Are you hitting the injured or uninjured? Think about this.
Yeah. Injured.
Injured.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Are they close enough to hit both of them?
You could hit both. You could hit one twice and the other one twice.
All right, so I'll hit the other one twice as well.
Okay. Roll the damage for the first strike you did.
Oof.
Okay, 6 points for that one, which, as you notice with how Magnus was with his, it didn't seem to do as much damage as you expected. And now you can go for the second one, roll both of those attacks. That's a hit. That is a miss. So roll one more thing of damage. So you strike the first one. 2 powerful strikes to it. The first hitting it in what seems to be a weak point for it as it shrieks in pain. The other one seeming more prepared, dodging one of your punches as the other one makes contact with the side of the head of it, causing it to stagger ever so slightly before it screeches in your direction. It is now
using... Oh, I was gonna move back and then use mobility to avoid a opportunity attack.
Okay. So yeah, you can move back roughly, you probably can get 10 feet away from them.
Okay.
So you scoot back up the stairs about 10 feet. It is now Trinket's turn, who from the upper landing is going to jump down, which she needs to make an acrobatics check for. She barely lands, which is going to cause her to lose some of her movement, and is going to start her way down the stairs, making only about 10 feet before pulling out her bow, and is going to attempt 2 shots with her bow. The first one is going to miss, and the second is going to hit for 9 points of damage plus her sneak attack, which is 28 points of damage. 26. Yes. And she's going to strike the one that you are fighting currently, Magnus, driving an arrow through where normally a heart would be. But in this case, it just causes the arrow to stick out from the inside of this creature's maw. And she looks a little frightened by this. And it is now Andraka's turn, who is still up in the upper landing.
And invisible. Sneak attack?
Invisible. He doesn't get sneak attack because he's not a rogue.
Ah.
I'm assuming I can't see the things from where I am.
You could not. If you were to jump down, you could roll an acrobatics check to try to keep on your feet, and then you would have visual.
Okay.
So roll an acrobatics check for me as you jump.
20.
Not 20. If anyone could see Andraka now, he does the... Actually, Journey would be the only one. Be able to see this lizard jump down doing... You want to do a superhero landing?
I'll do a flip.
Oh, you do a flip. Nobody sees it. Nobody sees it because you're still invisible.
I saw it. That's all that matters.
You hear through the air something whip through the air, Journey, before dust kind of rises in a spot where you assume Andraka landed. And he's going to rush towards the stairs. You have a visual of both targets as well as Trinket and the others. Roll an attack with advantage because you are invisible and undetected.
Hold on. So
If you want to roll with advantage on here, if you right click on the thing, you can actually click advantage.
no, not that.
Oh.
I'm trying to see if it takes like an action to materialize my gun or not.
It should be a bonus action if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it doesn't say anything about an action.
Or maybe if it's a free action actually, because it's you materializing it. You're not moving anything. It's just appearing in your hand. That's right. That's how soul bonded weapons work.
Okay, so I get advantage.
Yes, you have advantage on your attack.
Can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, there is.
21.
That's a 21. That's good. That's good shit right there. Roll that damage, my guy.
Wait, that's a. You should roll the other one just so we can see what it looks like for
No, that
curiosity.
it did roll. It's a 14. He rolled a 14 and a 2.
Okay.
If you right click on the dice on the plus whatever it is, you can click advantage or disadvantage. 17 points of damage. Are you doing the injured or uninjured?
Injured.
Injured. You fire this shot and you all hear this loud bang as Andraka just appears, giant cannon in hand, firing this round that flies past each of you, whistling as it passes, and strikes into the creature, who a large portion of it is blown off. Blood and this almost inky black blood splattering across behind it as it screeches in pain. And in that moment, it's going to try to attack Magnus, who is the only thing in front of it at the moment. Magnus, what is your AC?
19.
19. Let me double check here. That hits. He just barely hits you. And he's going to hit you for 9, 14, 24 points of piercing damage, which reduced to half because you're raging, and 10 points of necrotic damage as this dark substance seems to excrete from the teeth of this creature as it bites into your arm. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
It closed up. The ghosts. Once we kill this shrieker, it should open up.
24.
It is.
All right, you pass with flying colors. There's no effect from this. The other one is going to attempt to lunge at Errol.
I didn't know that.
What is your AC, Errol? Ow.
18.
18. It strikes you as well. Or this one gets a hold of you as well, biting into your torso as it does, and it inflicts 20 points of piercing damage and 8 points of necrotic as you experience the same effect. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Fuck. Oh, I thought it was a 1. It's a 9.
It's a 9. You are poisoned.
Let's go.
So what you'll do on your character sheet, go to conditions, and you will select the one that says poisoned, which means you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks right now.
Shit. Where the fuck?
And you are both grappled right now by the creatures.
I'm gonna yell, "You spooky bitch! Get off of me!"
You spooky bitch. And Journey. It is now your
Okay.
turn.
Decloak. I'm going to use a charge of Cantrip Master to use my bonus action and cast Eldritch Blast on the wounded one.
imagine
Do
the
you know how many
damage is-
times you can throw it in one action?
2.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you knew. All right, make both of those attack rolls for me. If your Eldritch
Okay.
Blast.
1. Okay, so now to hit, I got 22.
That's a hit.
Okay, so now I'll roll effect twice. I believe that's how it works.
You roll each one has its own attack.
Okay, so 4 damage. I'm doing this at the more wounded one.
The more wounded one, okay.
This one was only 11. The second one.
That one
I'm
does
guessing
not
doesn't
hit.
Okay, and then as my actual action, I'm going to use Polymorph on the wounded one that I believe the more wounded one, which I believe is Grappling Magnus.
Oh no.
Yes, there's one grappling Magnus, one grappling Errol.
Wait, no. I want to use the one on Errol.
Okay, what are you going to try to polymorph this boy into? And I'm trying to remember what the save is that he has to make.
Slug. The save is Wisdom 16.
He got me.
Wisdom 16.
Small slug, not a giant carnivorous slug. Something
Specify that.
You send out this polymorph and you see the magic getting a hold of it, and its form seems to flicker for just a moment before it doesn't quite get a hold, and it suppresses the magic against it. It rolled a perfect 16, so like I'm just gonna tell you, you almost had it.
Damn it. Well, I did a little damage. So.
Magnus, it's your turn.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
pops that shit like-
Can I use my bonus action to break out of this grapple?
Because you're a barbarian, yes, I will allow it.
Literally have no other things to use my bonus action on, so I might
Also,
as
the
well.
one that's grappling you is like extremely bloody. Like a large chunk of it is gone.
Oh shit, that's another light bear. Another light bear.
Oh my god.
On the right. Yeah.
23.
You just break out of its grapple. It takes a moment, and you, while you're doing this, just take 3 points of slashing as you tear yourself out from its teeth, which is just going to be 1 point because you're a barbarian and you have very tough skin. As you rip yourself out of its teeth, and it stumbles back, blood dripping from it, both yours and its own, as it's wanting to roar in rage, but it's not really able to.
Hold on, I got him.
It's a little tired.
Alright. Well,
More ads.
guess
more
it's time to go back to doing
it's
barbarian
not
things.
life anymore, though.
I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna hit him. That's pretty much what I just heard.
24 to hit.
That hits. You're hitting the injured one, I assume, the one you just got out of the grapple for.
Yep. 15
Roll the damage for that one. That is enough. How do you want to do it?
It's like this. Let's make its mouth bigger. I'm just gonna cut it in half along its mouth.
Okay, so you're finishing the job it started. All right. You all see as Magnus, as this thing wheeled back from him ripping himself from its grasp, and he brings his axe over its head, and as it goes to roar at him, his axe makes contact with the bottom part of this thing's maw and splits it down the middle. Black ooze and almost what looks to be diseased flesh splattering across the ground. And it is dead.
Alright, well now I'm gonna have to deal with that thing that's attacking the monk. So I'm just gonna turn around and start beating on that one.
Alright, roll an attack.
Yeah, still need to unlock it. Oh, hold up.
Fuck my fucking dice.
Hey, somebody
need a-
stick
I
some
need a-
metal in it or something.
I need like a tray or something.
Because I have heat metal, and I could just roast it from the inside if it has a piece of metal stuck in it.
I'll stab it in the eye with a dagger once it comes to my turn.
Nice. That's what we call synergy.
Okay,
Immaculate.
27 to hit.
Mm.
That hits.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. I just thought about something. I need to check Errol's character sheet real fast. I don't think... Okay, no, you do not have that yet.
What do I
11
not have?
slashing damage.
Uh,
11.
Oh.
11 of both?
slashing damage, 11 psychic damage.
Claim what?
Okay. Wow, that makes my math really easy. Okay.
That was a class item.
Okay. Now it is Errol's turn.
I got a question.
Yes.
If hypothetically it's dark enough in this area,
You can shadow
And,
walk away from this thing.
I can shadow walk away. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Because
So,
it's
before
technically a teleport. You don't have to walk to use it.
It's
It just
fine.
kind of, you disappear and reappear.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna pull out a dagger, poke the boy in the eye. Not poke, I mean stab, but you get the point.
Roll an attack.
Is that with dagger?
Also,
Yeah.
because, and I'm just thinking about this, also because Magnus is in combat with the creature that you are grappled by, you do also get to roll a sneak attack dice with the attack, which is a 1d6.
Alright, so I need to go over to the side here.
He got
So if
to
you
do
want to
it
use
with
your
the first
dagger,
attack. Ooh.
he does have sneak attack because he's got 2 levels in rogue.
Yep.
Let's go.
So actually, you have a dart. You don't have a dagger. You have a dart, which you can
Hey.
use as a dagger technically. So.
As long as it's a metal.
It's in his eyeball. I hit for 22.
That hits. Roll the d4.
Nice
and
workout,
then,
man.
Yeah, roll the d4 for the attack,
And then the sneak attack as
which is
well.
d6, and then add 5 to it because of your +5 because of your thing.
Okay.
I have a feeling you were rolling physical dice, or you rolling... No, it already did, so it's the 6. Never mind. It just isn't giving me the notification that you rolled. So roll the d6.
Okay. Roll to everyone. Oh, that's... I didn't
That's too
know what
many.
I'm doing.
Uh,
Jesus Christ.
Here, let me do it for you.
Yeah.
There we go. So you
Uh,
did 10 points of piercing damage, and then you shadow stepped away from the creature.
Yep. And I'm
You can
just,
go up to 60 feet. So how far do you want to go?
I'll just pop behind Trinket.
Okay, so you appear behind Trinket, who glances over at you, a little concerned as you feel this almost sickening feeling in your chest.
I'm getting on this thing so I can tank fast.
Good.
You're not feeling
Poison.
great.
Poison. Love it.
Yeah, poison. You.
Yummy, yummy.
I guess that's the end of your turn. So now it is Trinket's turn, who, in this moment, she is going to cast... She's going to run down the steps a little more, and you watch as she flings a hand out, and you see this... Let's see. You see this purplish kind of magic appear from her hand that she whips towards this creature. And is going to attempt to cast Tasha's Mind Whip against it. And it needs to roll an intelligence check, which it fails. And she is going to do 8 points of psychic damage to as she strikes it with this magic. And you notice that it seems to almost freeze up for a moment as she strikes it with this whip. Magnus. Not Magnus. Andraka. Naming people off. Andraka, it is your turn as you see this happen. You gonna start blasting?
Yeah.
So anyways, I started blasting.
The explosions are just great. So
Do I still have advantage?
You do not anymore.
Yeah, I had to decloak.
13.
Your shot unfortunately does not hit as you fire, and this thing slightly just shifts just enough as it's struck with this mind whip by Trinket. The bullet grazes over the top of it and does not seem to do any sort of damage to it. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
It is only so it turns towards Magnus, snapping the upper half of its body before attempting to lunge at you, Magnus. And a 23 does hit, as it grapples onto your arm once more, and is going to inflict 17 points of piercing damage, reduced to half, which would be just 8, and 8 points of necrotic damage as it bites into your arm and grapples you. And I need you to roll another Constitution saving throw for me.
How's your health doing, Dread?
I'm at like 54.
Okay. That means I'll heal our new owl
He's a
friend.
tank. He's made for this.
24 con save.
You do not feel the effects of whatever this creature is secreting. And it is now Journey's turn.
Okay. Honing in on the metal dart that our new owl friend stuck in the creature's eye.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Heat Metal at the 4th level. So that does 10 damage.
10 whole points of damage.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Healing Word at the 2nd level.
Okay. Roll that health for, I assume, Magnus, or are you doing it on Errol?
Errol, because
Errol,
he's
okay.
actually like suffering from the effect of poison.
Okay.
So
cast
Healing
your
Word.
Word. So roll that health and tell him what it is.
Heal 9 points.
Okay.
9
Does
points
that
of
get
health.
rid of poison?
That
or...
does not.
Oh, I
So HP and
Well, I had
conditions
that
are actually
month.
two different things. That's a later thing you get where you're immune to that. All right, it's back to Magnus. As we're back to the top of the order.
Well, I'd like to get the fuck out of this grapple again.
All right, roll that strength check. Or save, or whatever it is. And it's going to fail regardless. I know how you roll, and I know how I just rolled.
Yeah, a dirty 20.
Yeah, it rolled a fucking 7. So yeah, you bust out of this thing's grip, pulling its jaws open and yanking your hand away from it. Not taking any additional damage this time. And now it is your turn to do your barbarian things.
14 to hit.
That just misses. You strike at it, and your axe seems to graze off its hide.
Finally. 23 to hit.
That hits. So you miss the first shot, your axe bouncing off the ground, and in your rage manage to redirect it to strike a second time, driving your axe into it.
11 slashing damage and 10 psychic damage.
Okay, easy numbers for me once again. All right. This thing is a bit bloodied now. It is now Errol's turn.
It's spawning us further and further back.
I'm gonna dash forward, pull out my staff this time,
Okay.
and hit it twice.
Okay, roll your first attack.
On disadvantage, right?
Yes, with disadvantage because you are poisoned.
Well, first one is a 12, and the second one is a 23.
So that one misses. So your first swing, you go to strike at it, and as it seems to be in combat with Magnus, and due to your uneasy state at the moment, you slightly miss and strike the ground next to it. Roll again for your second attack.
First one is a 24.
Okay.
Second one is a nat 1.
You seem to be out of it as you go to strike again. Your quarterstaff making contact, but it doesn't seem to do anything as it kind of strafes off. You find yourself stumbling slightly. Almost a feeling of needing to vomit coming up to you for just a moment, kind of slowing you down.
You're like, oh, I don't feel so good. I want to back off. Do I throw up or something?
You do not, but you get this sickening feeling of like I could puke right now if I let myself.
My tummy is not happy.
It
God
is
damn
now.
Did I eat dairy?
It is now Trinket's turn, who is going to dash towards the creature, placing a hand on it, and is going to attempt to cast the spell Inflict Wounds as you watch her hand grow this sickening black color. And she makes contact with the creature and inflicts 17 points of necrotic damage as you watch the veins within the creature turn this black, this sickening black color as it screeches in pain. And she then is going to disengage and get about 10 feet from it, ready for its next attack, which she assumes is going to go towards her because of what she just did to it. And it is now Andraka's turn.
Lightning Man.
24.
That's a hit. That was a good roll.
And 16.
16 points of damage. You fire the shot, and a huge chunk of this creature is blown across the floor. It's barely standing, blood and this diseased flesh dripping from it as it's stumbling slightly. It's now the creature's turn, who is going to make an attack at Trinket. And he is going to hit her for 10, 9, 29 points of piercing damage and 8 points of necrotic. And Trinket needs to roll a con save, which she fails. You watch as Trinket, as this creature bites into her, crushing kind of over her torso, and she spits up blood. And Magnus, you can see in her eyes, in the very dim light of this area, there seems to almost be a blackness that comes over them for a moment as she's bitten, as the whatever substance this creature is secreting enters her bloodstream. It is now Journey's turn.
That's not good. I guess bonus action right off the bat, I'm going to cast at the second level Healing Word on Trinket.
Okay.
So she gets to heal herself for 13 points of damage.
All right.
And now at the third level, I'm going to cast Heat Metal.
Okay.
So that's going to do 14 points of damage.
Okay, so as you cast the spell, the dart glows this red, like orange, hot color as it begins to bury itself deeper into this creature, and it releases Trinket, screeching in pain as the dart actually catches fire to its flesh, and it begins to shriek and scream as it bursts into flames, shaking and fighting the dart that's burning within its skull before it collapses to the ground in a burnt, diseased pile of flesh. And it produces a very foul smell that is sickening to all of you.
Oh my god, screams.
But you are now out of combat.
I'll rush over to Trinket and check on her.
She kind of drops to one knee a little bit as she, after being released, and for a moment just kind of sitting there before leaning over to the side, and she does puke all over the ground. And she kind of sits there on her hands and knees for a moment, just panting heavily. And you can see where she was bitten, this darkened kind of ooze that seems to be within the wound, that seems to be festering and spreading.
Andraka, you're smart. Do you know what these things are?
Do I roll a check or something?
Roll I'm gonna say a history or an Arcana check with disadvantage.
I'll roll the same.
Cross over here. Yeah.
Oh, 10.
Okay.
Hmm.
Neither of you can identify this creature. You've
Oh,
never
nice.
heard or seen anything like this. Magnus, if you would like to roll, I will let you roll
gonna-
straight.
Pop your
Straight
phone.
roll, straight roll.
What check?
Either Arcana or a history.
No advantage, no disadvantage.
Due to your background and the things you've experienced, you might have heard about this creature.
If there's a block of heavy here, I might just shoot a couple.
17.
There is a part of your mind that you feel like you've heard stories. You can't remember any details, but you have heard of these creatures before. You just don't remember anything that they're associated with or exactly what they do.
And this is just the first
Um,
phase,
but-
but we're probably gonna have to do this a second.
That's the kind of the extent of it. Is just like you
Is
you
whatever-
recognize it.
Is whatever this poison is, does it seem to be injected from like a specific set of teeth or anything like that from these creatures?
You notice like with this check as well, these creatures, whatever seems to be affecting your friends or allies, depending on how you look at them, it's something these creatures just produce from their body. It's not even like from a specific place. It's just their essence themselves, and anything that they attack seems to get infected with whatever this is.
I'm gonna carve a lump of the other one, not this burning one. I'm gonna carve a lump of its flesh out, and I'm gonna take one of its teeth.
Okay.
Magnus, why don't you
and
take our
wrap it in
friends
some
to a
cloth, and I'm gonna hold
healer?
onto it.
I'm sure Andraka and I can keep this place locked down until you guys are feeling a bit better.
Hmm.
Oh, could I do a medicine check to see if I know how to cure this?
With disadvantage because you've never experienced this before.
Juan, are
Okay.
you using an exotic? Of just like exotic weapon at all?
20.
Don't worry.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck.
And
Almost
then a
thought I
5,
had
and then
it.
a 5.
Hold on,
There's
Good
a
job.
moment like you feel like
Using that gun right now.
you almost feel like you have a solution, and then it's just like you're whatever this sickness is, just like, or whatever this like feeling you're getting is, it just kind of like it takes over for a moment. You kind of forget the idea you came up with, and you're just sitting there and just like, how do I fix this?
Yeah, once we kill him, don't make sure that-
Trinket kind of getting up, she says, I just need rest. And she's kind of one arm holding over her gut, and she just says, I probably just need to sleep this off.
'Cause this pulse rifle's-
No, honey, no offense, but you look like shit. You need to see a
Okay.
healer.
You take them. I spent all my money on urchins to point me in this direction.
Fair enough.
Alright, so now I'll put on Hothead.
And Draka, you're good, right?
If I use Hothead and you use Gallahorn, we basically have 3 Gallahorns.
Yes.
Take that as a okay, yeah. Okay, you two with me.
All right.
She
Do
kind
you
of
have a
sighs.
backpack
and
by any chance?
Come again?
Do you have a backpack on?
I have a bag of holding.
Does Trinket have a backpack?
Outbreak, I just-
Oh wait, do you need a backpack? Because I have a backpack stored in my bag of holding.
Pretty good,
No, I was just gonna hop in the backpack.
Cycled enough of those
I'm
days.
Just
small
hop in my
enough.
bag of holding.
That could kill him. That could kill him.
What what's life without a few risks, huh?
Trinket is wearing a backpack. It's not a very big bag, but she does have a pack on.
Let's get
How big we talking?
Like
when at spawn,
it has like a bedroll on it, and then it's probably big enough to. It's like a thieves bag. It's not big.
Okay.
It's definitely for like
Yeah.
supplies, like ropes, crowbars, stuff of that nature.
I forgot.
I'm just gonna
yeah,
kind of
Magnus-
like
this is just the first
hobble
phase.
Magnus
over.
picks up Errol and hangs him over Journey's shoulder.
He is pretty
I was
small.
gonna
Perfect.
hop on the bedroll and close my eyes.
Yep. Okay. You have fun, Magnus. I'm taking your quarterstaff to use as a walking stick to support your guys' weight.
I don't know how big my quarterstaff is.
Okay, it's like a walking stick.
It's gotta be like 3 feet tall at most.
Well, it's a nice walking stick.
You might as well be carrying a yardstick. Like
Exactly.
It's okay. My character's not too tall either.
Basically, we're just gonna focus on
So
Let's
you-
go.
armor.
Errol, you're trying to rest while they're going.
Yeah.
You guys are going to a healer.
Yeah.
Roll a con save for me while you are taking a rest.
19.
Just upgrading my armor.
Okay, we'll get back to you guys in a minute as you guys go to the healer. Andraka and Magnus, what are you two doing as the others
Going
hobble
for that
out of this
satyr's
place?
body.
Looking around the space, it's dark, so you can barely see beyond where the lantern is lighting up. You could collect the lantern if you would like.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the lantern.
Okay, so you get the lantern and check around the space. You do find, within the space, there is what looks to be a hand, just a hand, that is discarded near that hole that Trinket had told you about, and there is a blood trail leading into this hole.
Magnus just looks over at Andraka. If you have anything more creative than those weapons, we'll need them.
I go as the diamond commands.
I just need the motherfucker's belt. I'm going down that tunnel. I just need the motherfucker's belt.
Is that where you put
So-
the gold?
The hole itself is roughly probably 2.5 feet wide. It's going to be a really tight fit for you, Magnus.
Ugh. Of course whatever this is. I mean, these things were bigger than this hole as well, weren't they?
They were humanoid, but part of them,
Yeah, so
it was
this
like
is the boss room. So
they were
that
built
same thing
kind of
just
like
get
how
into
Trinket
it
is,
again,
where it's
and
like a
then
thin
you
built.
can
They're
see-
not built 300 pounds. They were built like maybe
Yeah,
150 at most.
Start the damage phase or the boss phase, but you won't be able
They're
to
like
rally.
they're like half your. They were like half your width shoulder wise,
Okay. Make sure you rally one before.
if that makes sense. Like you are a big dude. You are borderline large dude.
Borderline.
right.
He's 8 feet tall.
Like as in he is almost breaking the threshold of being a large creature instead of
It's
a
not.
medium creature.
I mean, like,
Alright, we gotta kill this
Like,
dude.
you could fit in this hole.
Crystal, then we can damage
It would just
like,
take
I'm
some
gonna have
work.
to.
Yeah, it's just gonna take some work.
I'm gonna fucking have to.
Dude, they're so strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll an athletics check for me to squeeze yourself into this hole.
You said athletics?
Yes.
Alright.
Well, we gotta kill this dude. Start damage
That
phase,
is
and then
a
it'll start
19.
Are you taking the lantern with you?
Alright, shoot the crystal.
Or are you just
I'll
gonna
hand
go
it off
blind?
to Andraka.
Oh,
Okay.
adds two. Adds,
So
adds.
it takes you a couple minutes to squeeze through this gap. Couple of spots where you get jammed, get it caught on like a slightly jagged edge within this tunnel, but you do manage to squeeze through to another. It kind of almost you drop down into another chamber, and when you hit the ground, it is in this chamber that it is wet. There's sort of liquid
Yes.
built up on the bottom. You hear dripping some distance away, and you also can hear some distance away the sound of something or
stuck.
multiple
I'm
things
stuck.
seem to be gnawing
That's
on
stuck.
flesh.
Of course, it's fucking. Those two go for a fucking healer. He was just a goddamn second. What's Andraka doing?
So can I? What did the hole look like? Is it like a straight shot where I can see the other side?
It's pretty straight. Yeah, you can see Magnus on the other side because you have dark vision, right?
He went flying back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would be able to see Magnus on the other side.
I I mean, I guess if I don't see he's in danger, I'll just start calling through too.
And you wouldn't have any issues doing this. You are relatively thin. Your gun might cause a bit of issues, but oh, you can dematerialize it. So no, you can crawl through this with ease. So you begin to.
Well, I'll be.
What are you gonna say?
He was gonna say something to fucking Andraco.
Okay.
He's just gonna say, like, really quietly, just, do you have any way of healing others?
Yes. We're probably gonna have to rotate.
I am gonna grab my greater healing potion out of my pocket and just kind of show it.
All right. Is it okay if I have that? I might be needing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm scared.
Well, I'm just gonna hold on to that. And now, fucking Andraka has the lantern, so there's a lantern with us now.
Yes, there is a light source that is shining into the space ahead of you. You can see some distance away, like just beyond this lantern light, there are two figures that seem to be crouched over remains of some sort of a body of sorts. And you can also see within the space there are things discarded left and right. There appears to be pieces of leather strode about. There are one or two bags that seem to have been ripped off of the body. That seem to be laying roughly 20, 30 feet from these creatures off to the sides. One of the bags you do see, it is familiar, seems to be during whatever whatever event had happened in here before you had entered, seemed to have been thrown and is dangling off of a jagged edge of a pillar within the space, roughly 20 feet from the creatures.
How many are there?
There seems to be two that are feeding. These ones don't seem to be like the other ones, though. These ones, it doesn't seem that the body splits based on what you can tell. It's only the head that splits.
Jared? I think maybe like and I'm like maybe you should like throw up burning hands at these guys while they're distracted and grouped up, and like maybe you should cast it at a higher level.
I don't know where he is.
So how do we know which bag we're looking for? Or
Magnus
whatever we're
does.
The
looking
bag we're
for?
looking for is full of
Yeah.
gold,
Outbreak.
Magnus
so
does.
it's not gonna burn.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, before we start with that, let us go with what I believe Jared's thinking. Magnus is just gonna go look over at Andraka. Just, are you able to bring us all of those bags that he has dropped there?
Depending on how far away they are, I could try to mage hand them.
Two of them, the bags you can see, are within the mage hand reach. You would have to move roughly about 10 feet forward in order to get the other one.
If they notice you, cast some kind of fire. These things are resistance to physical, but fire should be able to hurt them.
Alright, I have my super for the next ad phase when we
Afterwards, fall back behind me. I'll hold them off. We'll deal with them near the exit. Unless you have a way to slow them down long enough for both of us to leave.
Do I know how long the tunnel is?
The total length of the space you're in, or the one that you passed through,
the tunnel we crawled through,
is roughly like maybe 10 feet.
Well, yeah, we know what we're doing now.
Oh, That's fine.
It wasn't a long tunnel. This was a narrow gap that someone had dug into this chamber to get in here.
Okay. So as long as I can get back through the tunnel, I can just teleport Magnus out.
Yeah, I could choose to fail the con save, so I'd be able to just... Yeah. Okay. And yes, I am looking at your spell list, Jared. I've been looking at a lot of
I
wizard
know.
stuff lately, so I just... Yeah.
All right. So you can easily get the other 2 bags without any kind of... Actually, roll a stealth check. Let's roll a stealth check.
Can I give him the help
Oh,
action?
no.
What's the
I
help action?
would say no, only
Well,
because
like,
it's him physically, or it's him using his magic, and you... If you were both sneaking through a place, then I would totally give you that. But it's him using his mage hand.
Yeah, you could put them back in. You could put them into the.
I would say the DC is lower because you would be helping him. Which I don't think the DC is that high, anyways. Yeah, DC is not that high.
Yeah, 15, 30.
So roll me a stealth check.
Ugh, 10.
10.
Yeah.
You're able to get the first 2 bags, no problem.
Basically,
Piece of cake.
just-
You begin to move to the second one, and as you are fiddling with it with your mage hand, one of the creatures seems to shift slightly, and it glances in your direction, and you hear for a moment this guttural growl before the other one also turns in your direction. You do acquire the bag, but they have definitely noticed you.
Yeah, it's time to leave.
Was that all the bags?
Magnus is gonna down that potion.
Yeah, there were
of
3
greater
bags.
healing.
Speak with that
There were
core
3
and
bags.
live on Mars.
Did you get them all?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just
No.
gonna.
We got the one we needed, but we didn't get all of them.
You got the 2. He got the 2 in the beginning. There was only 3 bags. He got all 3.
Oh, he got all 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
The stealth check wasn't
Oh,
bad
cool.
enough that he couldn't get a bag, but it was bad enough to get caught.
Okay, well, I
Yeah,
down
I'm just
that
gonna.
potion. Just run. I'll hold him
Yeah,
off.
I'm sprinting back to the tunnel.
All right. The creatures begin to bolt towards the 2 of you. And Draka, you do manage to pass Magnus. Roll a, let's say, acrobatics or athletics check to... Actually, acrobatics to weasel your way through this gap.
Oh, 7.
7. You get a little stuck on the way through. You get stuck roughly about 5 feet into this gap. Magnus, I will give you the first attack. I'm not going to do initiative for this. This is kind of a funky situation, but you get the first attack as the 2 of them lunge towards you. And
I don't
now
have
that
because I don't have Sentinel, but like basically I just want Magnus to like when Andraka goes past him, just keep backing up until his back is to the crack in the wall.
Yeah. I need you... So you do your attack, and now that they're closer to you and that you see them, you notice these creatures, the way that they're set up, the head of this humanoid entity seems to almost split into 4, almost like 4 jaws, and produces this blossom-like maw that opens outwards. That seems to be perfect for wrapping around the head of another creature.
Yeah, these are fucking proto mind flare bastards. That's a 26 to hit.
That hits.
Level, but I still would like to. There's a lot of them I have to.
15 slashing damage and 10 psychic damage.
Okay. All right. And
Awesome.
your second attack?
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, for my second attack, the one I didn't hit... Hold on, I need to see if they make a save for this. God damn it. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go.
God, from that evidence board, there's now.
Okay, yeah.
filters of
The
reflection.
one that I didn't hit. Oh, that says a bonus action. I'm gonna keep attacking first.
Oh,
I
okay.
really fucking wish I crit on 19s now. So that's a 27.
Yeah, that hits.
Eight slashing damage and 12 psychic damage. And I'm
Is that
going
the injured or uninjured?
injured.
Okay, so you hit the same one twice.
Yeah. And then the one that I didn't hit,
That's not
it's
my
going to
headphones
have to
when you go
make
by. My headphones made a weird sound. Sound like a Decepticon when I'm coming from my
I think that's a athletics. Yeah, athletics. Because I'm gonna shove him with my shield.
Okay. What does it have to outroll?
So 26.
It barely rolls underneath you, mainly because I don't think it. Wait a minute. Yeah, it
So-
barely rolls underneath you. It rolled a 25.
So let's see.
So it is pushed back 10 feet. Is that what
Yeah, it should be
does?
10 feet. I'm trying to find the.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it should be 10 feet.
Right, it is pushed back 10 feet from you, hissing as you shove it backwards. The first one is going to attempt to use its biting blossom attack against you,
Yeah, that should be on.
which it does hit. And it is going to do 18, 28 points of piercing damage and 6 points of necrotic as it bites down onto your arm. The other is going to attempt to use its. You watch as the blossom mouth of it springs open, and this tongue shoots out, and is going to attempt to grapple you. Which it does succeed, as the tongue makes contact with you. I need you to roll a strength save against it.
Fucking kill him, Dread.
That's gonna be 18. 25.
So you keep yourself from being dragged towards this creature as it tries to retract its tongue and bring you with it. And both creatures have you grappled at the moment. And Draka, you managed to scurry back through the rest of the space.
Okay, I'm gonna turn around and can I see Magnus?
Yes, you can. You can see the back of his head as he is pressed against the hole.
And I'm gonna cast Vortex Warp on him.
Okay.
And if he chooses to fail, then
I'm failing the save. I'm failing the save on Vortex Warp.
Yeah, I'm just gonna teleport him like right next to me.
Okay.
Fuck out.
And then
Run.
So you were
Can
both
I-
sprinting out?
can I cast Shatter on the tunnel mouth to try and collapse it?
Yes, you can. Specify to me what that spell does specifically.
Sudden loud ringing noise. Each creature must make a con save. Takes thunder damage. Yeah, it's basically just a loud ringing noise in an area. That also damages material.
Okay. So it must the tunnel itself must make a saving throw. So
See.
part of the tunnel begins to collapse a little bit as these creatures begin to try to wrench their way through. Some of the rocks getting caught on top of them, and it definitely has slowed them. They're definitely having issues trying to get through. As they are
That's
both
good
trying
enough.
to. Yeah, they're both trying
Yeah.
to push their way through this tunnel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run.
Fucking run.
Okay, both of you
us
start
going to the top.
sprinting. You guys rush to the top. Are you guys closing the hatch?
As soon as I get to the top, I'm slamming the hatch, and I'm standing on top of the hatch, looks over to Andraka. Get boxes over here now.
Yeah, grab boxes.
Roll a. Actually, I'm not gonna make you roll anything. Yeah, you easily can move boxes. So you start piling up boxes on top of this thing, and
Yeah.
roughly probably about 5 or 6 of these boxes on top of this hatch. You do hear banging underneath and hissing and roaring as these creatures need to escape.
We're just gonna pile as many boxes as we can on top, and then we're just gonna leave through the front door, close the fucking door. Someone else's problems. Someone else's problem.
Okay, you slam the door shut behind you. A silence that follows. And you wait a few moments, pressing against the door. Some people staring at you awkwardly as they pass, and a feeling of relief passes over both of you as it seems whatever those creatures were are not pursuing you.
Let's see the bags, Andraka.
I just hand all 3 over.
All right, looking at the bags, you do find that the one that you recognize, Magnus, is in fact a bag of holding, and does in fact inside contain gold. You cannot count how much gold right now, specifically because you would have to pull it out little by little. You probably don't want to do that right now.
While we're doing this, Magnus will be walking back to the fucking depot, the place that we've been staying.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna strap that bag to himself. What's the next one?
The next one, it appears to be a simple container that contains several clear beads within. If you want to roll an Arcana check, I will let you do that.
Crit.
You find within this bag there's roughly 40 beads of nourishment within it. Most likely how this individual was keeping himself alive, based on what you could tell.
Cool.
And
is this a bag of holding?
This one is not. It is just a simple bag. It looks like it was a bag used for like ball bearings that he improvised and turned into that.
Good. I'm gonna put this in the bag of holding.
Okay. You drop that in the bag of holding. The last bag you find within, there seems to be a series of copper coins, but they're not traditional copper coins. They seem to have arcane symbols etched into each of them. And based on what you can tell about this bag, there are about 3 different symbols that you aren't necessarily... you can identify them. You don't know too much about the arcane to understand what these specific runes would mean. You can tell that they are spells, but you can't tell what they are.
He's gonna give the bagpipes to... Actually, no. I'm gonna hold on to these. How many beads of nourishment?
Roughly 30.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as we get back to the place we've been staying, I'm gonna count that gold out.
Okay, so you guys begin to head back to home base. The other 3 of you, as you are all traveling, Trinket looking more and more sickly as you guys travel, as well as Errol's not looking too hot as well. Journey, roll a... let's say either investigation or perception to try to find yourself a healer.
Okay. $11. The way 7s are rendered on the dice here always makes me think I'm rolling a nat 1.
Okay. You all travel. It takes quite some time to find any kind of help. And you end up entering what looks to be a herbalist of sorts. And upon entering the shop, you see this Furbolg individual seems to be tending to plants before kind of glancing towards your party and almost drops the watering can that she's using to water some of the plants. And she places it down after fumbling it for a second. She says, "Oh, how can I help you all? You look terrible."
Heal my friends, please.
What is it that has gotten over them?
Some kind of toxin. Venom? Which one's the...
Venom.
She muses to herself. Some kind of thing. Some kind of malady after, like, getting bitten by these weird torso mouth creatures.
She says, let me see what I can find." She quickly runs into a back room, and you hear glassware being shifted around, various items being moved. And she comes back, and she says, "Please sit." And she gestures to 2 chairs.
I'll help them. Over there.
They both sat down within the seats.
I'm still asleep on the backpack.
She pulls out what looks to be 2 they're bowls of a warm liquid that seems to be mixed in with several herbs and such. And she offers one to Trinket, and she does attempt to wake Errol. Are you easy to wake up?
Sure.
Okay, she does wake you up, and she offers you the thing as well. I need both of you. I need you to roll a con save again. The DC is different to see if you get over the disease or sickness or whatever this is.
Fuck.
What'd you roll?
4.
Oh,
He rolled a 4.
Rolled a 4. Your symptoms seem to be relieved, though the black kind of internal ooze that seems to be coming from this doesn't seem to subside. You do feel better. You are still poisoned at the time, though.
Would a potion of greater healing fix that?
Let me double check the effects of a potion of greater healing. I don't know if they fix disease.
Nope.
They do not. They are for healing, not for disease. That would not.
All right.
And she seems to be disappointed by the results, and she says, I've never seen something like this. I don't know of anyone that would know what this is specifically. Give me one moment. She quickly goes into the back again. She comes back with I want to say a singular vial. She says, I only have one of these, but as much as I would like to help you with this, I need something in return.
Name your price.
How much would you have, by chance?
How much you asking for? And I'll go full, let's see, persuasion.
Roll persuasion check, I guess.
Okay, nat 20, so 31.
My God. My man. She looks at the vial and she says, does 100 gold pieces sound good? This stuff is hard to get.
Deal.
She nods and hands you the vial. And who would you like to give the vial to as you give her 100 gold pieces?
How did Trinket react to?
They both didn't. Trinket reacted similar. Some of it went away, but not a lot of it.
I'll give it a Trinket. I know, like usually, like prioritize PCs, but
Pretty sure to just sleep it off.
she
you just
she
show.
she holds it in her hand and she looks back at you. She says, "You sure you don't want to give it to him? He seems to be worse off."
I only
I'm
met him
fine.
today,
'Tis but a flesh
and
wound.
you Trinket, you're important to me. Been through so much together, and
She
well,
kind of clenches her jaw and looks at him and pops it open and drinks the potion.
Gonna
Nearly
look over.
She gasps a little bit and gags a tiny bit and begins coughing from it, almost dropping the vial on the ground um, before kind of straightening up a little bit. And you do see that the kind of ooze and such that has been produced is kind of fading. And she lets out a sigh as some of the color uh, in her eyes and such returns to its normal place. And you do also
except
notice the wounds that are in her sides where it was festering is no longer festering.
apothecary. What was that?
It was something that a friend of mine had given up, something he'd given me before he left. It's just to cure sicknesses.
Do you know anywhere else where I could source that? I'm not one to leave my allies high and dry. Gesturing to the little owl dude.
Unfortunately, I do not. It may possibly be in the black markets, or possibly a vendor may have them, but, well, at this time, I don't know if anyone may want to help you.
How much to keep him in your treatment until he gets better?
I don't know how much help I can be. It
Gonna
may be
wave
better
it
if you
off.
find a place for him to rest.
Yeah, he seems to
Okay.
react well enough to general healing incantations, even if it doesn't resolve his malady. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. She kind of just watches as you guys Trinket helping Errol to his feet. I assume Errol's
Okay.
probably just gonna climb back onto her bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some shit like, "Give me some whiskey and I'll be good."
Give me some whiskey and I'll be good. He would get along well with the Wild West party.
Let's go.
Yeah, boys.
So you all meet back up at the
I'll be right
hideout,
back.
or the one place.
I
Errol,
feel like Magnus and Andraka have gotten there first.
yes.
All right, because if Magnus is in charge of divvying up the cash, he's I have to do a little bit of math for that.
So you arrive back probably roughly 30 minutes before the others. You do find within the bag there's roughly 10,000 gold pieces. Which isn't hard math.
Oh, yeah, it's because of certain things to stay in character. So just we'll do whatever, but I'm gonna basically Magnus is just gonna be busy doing
Yes.
math with all this gold right now.
And Draco, what would you like to do during this time?
I'll just be sitting somewhere.
Okay, so you
Magnus
guys are
would
both.
ask
Oh, what?
Andraka to stay close because of certain things.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are settled within the kind of living space, the living room area of this building. The Andraka sitting upon one of the couches or chairs, while Magnus either sits on a chair, or would you be on the floor counting this?
He's just sitting on the floor, yeah.
Why Magnus sits on the floor and shifting gold pieces around, kind of doing his own thing in the middle. The rest of you enter the building. Journey leading the pack as you come into the scene of Magnus with a large assortment of gold pieces in front of him.
I see you recovered the loot.
I'm divvying it up right now.
Magnus, were you poisoned at all? By whatever we
No.
thought.
How many were poisoned again? It's important for the math.
Trinket and our friend here, Errol, I believe.
Okay. They get an extra half share because of damages.
Hey, I paid for Trinket's healing.
I can
No,
get
that's
you
100
money
gold.
back.
like Magnus just like drops some of the gold he's holding. It's just that's not how we do it. And like he just starts itching at his like raider tats. It's like shares are divvied correctly. And he goes back
Well-
to counting.
But you might want to give Errol a little bit more because he's still dying of whatever those creatures gave him. The apothecary,
One
she only had
bench.
one cure.
Is Errol here?
Injury and damage pay is an extra half a share. Equal.
I'm here.
Roll a con save for me again.
God. What is that? 11.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right, so that's a scary thing to hear from me, isn't it?
Yes. You
Um,
sound like Alec.
I like to say the same phrases regardless if it's good or bad, so you never know what it is. Now, what are you
Okay,
saying, Magnus?
so-
That's what he does.
Here's all the math done. So Journey, 1,111 gold. There's an extra 1,111 put to the side for the snake dude.
1,111. 1111. That's easy.
A lot of ones.
Errol gets 1,666 gold. Trinket gets 1,666 gold. And Draka, because those who find the treasure get a complete extra share, 2,222 gold.
If you're wondering how to add gold to your character sheet, Errol, you go to your inventory, you click the gold, and then you can add the gold pieces.
Okay.
Which it's 1666 is your number.
Yeah. All right. I think I did the math right. Yeah. All right. We're good.
Yep, there you go. Awesome. Just wanted to make sure you knew how to do that. Awesome. So everyone, Journey collects his and kind of puts it into a pouch that she kind of holds with her while she takes him upstairs to rest. During the time, Errol, you are actually awoken by her trying to get you off of her pack and onto a bed.
You mean Trinket?
Yes, Trinket. Sorry, Trinket. And you find that as you open your eyes, you cannot see. You've gone blind.
Fuck. Okay.
And Trinket
Damn,
looks
maybe
over
you
at
should have
you.
gotten that blind fighting.
Yeah. And Trinket looked over at you, and she says, "Your eyes they're fogged over."
Who's there?
The tabaxi.
Oh. Yeah. It's dark. I'm not used to this.
And it's not necessarily like the blindness of like complete darkness. It's like a really hazy white, like trying to look through a thick fog.
Mm. Okay.
You can tell light. You can somewhat take in color, but it's not enough to know what you're looking at.
Maybe like this probably isn't good. While I still have my vision, I might want to look for some thieves' symbols to see if there's any black markets nearby.
She. Well, so you are blind right now, so you do have the blindness condition. At the moment. And she says, "Just get some rest. I I will try to make an attempt to find something. She gets to her feet and quickly kind of hurries out of the room, leaving you by yourself, unable to. You have no idea where you are right now. You are on a bed in a room you've never been in that you can't make out, and you have no idea where you are.
I'm gonna give
gonna
Journey those bagpipes.
It's a bag of copper coins. Is what you're calling bagpipes. It's a bag of copper coins. They're copper coins, but they're not redeemable. They have arcane symbols on them. I think you might have misheard me.
Yeah, no, I'll hold on to them. I'll hold on to them. Message me a name for them. I thought this was gonna be fast.
Just
That's
put
why I even
put bag of rune copper coins and say
right.
3 types inside as a note.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. All right.
Bagpipes. I swore I heard you say bagpipes, and I was like, he didn't say that, did he?
I heard
just
I
kept
heard
talking.
bagpipes earlier, and I thought, oh, I'm getting some bagpipes.
Just have Errol spin around and then sleep standing up.
Okay, so
Some
Errol is
bird shit.
upstairs, up in the upper section of one of the rooms in the bed that Trinket had claimed the night before, sleeping. You all see as Trinket descends the staircase and then quickly makes her way to the door.
Where are you going?
Shopping. I want to see if I can find something.
What are you looking for?
Possible cure?
Oh. Magnus just gets up and is like, we don't need that. We need a scientist. And he'll take out like the cloth with the samples of the creatures that they killed, just wherever they get their poison. I'm pretty sure I got some of it, so we just need to find someone who can make an anti-venom.
That could work. And around this point, as she's saying that, you hear 2 voices just outside the door as she kind of takes a step back. Familiar voices. As Zimmel and Incarus, who has a fresh slit scar in his along his throat, enter the building. And they both pause.
You sure the
as you
money
come in.
is on that desk, Snake?
Oh, wonderful. Didn't expect to see all of you still here after the race. Thank you
Needed
for
to find
leaving me
somewhere
a
to
spare.
count the money.
True. Thank you for keeping me in mind for splitting shares.
Do you know of aberration-like creatures' mouths that run down their entire bodies? Poisonous, well, venomous.
I've heard rumors in the past of strange creatures.
You're a smart fellow, aren't you?
I would like to think so, yes.
Do you think you could distill an anti-venom with samples of their flesh and teeth?
It is a possibility.
I guess you don't need to leave after all, Trinket. And Magnus will just hold this. There is an owl man who I had to very unfortunately give a share of our gold to for his mild assistance, who is still sick from whatever these things have in their system. And he'll just give Icarus the samples.
Gurney peeks down from upstairs. Imagine she's hanging out with him. He's blind. He's a bat.
Oh,
He's an owl,
he's
though.
blind now.
Yeah.
How
I
wonderful.
should probably check on him first before I look at these. And
Yes.
you watch as he wraps it. He pulls out a thing of leather from inside a pouch that's on his hip and wraps it up before sliding it into the pouch and quickly making his way up the stairs.
Symptoms we've observed include vomiting, some kind of like black-ling substance beneath the skin. An apothecary in town had a cure, but there was only one. I gave it to Trinket. Maybe she has antibodies you could study.
It was probably a potion of sorts that cured her. He enters the room and he says, "Well, he wasn't kidding about an owl. I've never seen an owl in my days." He's going to approach you. Errol's asleep right now, and he's going to gently, like, kind of come up, and he's, without touching Errol, is going to be looking him over. He says, "Is he alive, or at least conscious enough to be awake?"
He sleeps a lot.
It would seem to be that way, yes. I would like to get some blood from him, but I don't know what he would do if I was to wake him. And he's going to tap Errol and kind of making like a kind of noise, trying to wake you up.
Which direction is he tapping me from? Like, is it my side or behind me?
Kind of tapping you on like the shoulder, but it's like from the front.
Alright, I'm just gonna swivel my head over to him. Just open up an eye.
Well, if you weren't kidding about the blindness, it seems pretty bad.
Who are you?
I'm a
Can't
friend.
make it out.
I'm a friend, and if you would not mind, I would like to study a bit of your blood due to this disease.
Don't drink me dry.
I do not plan to. And you watch Journey as he reaches into that pouch that he had stuck the bit of flesh in, and he pulls out a small box within it and begins going through it for a moment before pulling out what looks to be a small kind of almost syringe. He says, "This will cause a slight discomfort," and he is going to stick it into your arm.
No reaction on his part.
He's just going to extract a bit of blood, which, Journey, as you see him do this, the blood that is extracted is slightly darkened. Darker than normal.
Gross.
Almost similar to the creature's blood that you had seen in that pit.
Let's go. I'm gonna turn into the creature.
And he says,
The owl becomes a humanoid.
I will take I will take this to my workshop and see what I can do. Until then, I guess simply rest. And we will see what transpires from this.
I'll watch him.
Do you think I drink enough alcohol that the blood alcohol content may throw this off?
That's not how healing works. What you need is water. You just had a sample of blood taken.
Incris is going to disappear. You all watch. Well, Journey would just watch as Incris leaves the room and quickly goes downstairs. The others who are already downstairs see him slip into the garage space where the vehicle is and close the door behind him, disappearing. Zimmel, who is still standing within the room, a bit confused, just kind of shakes off this and heads into the kitchen area to start messing around in there. Trinket has closed the door by this point, is now awkwardly sitting in a seat, just kind of waiting. What are the rest of you doing?
Going to go into the kitchen. He's fucking hungry.
Okay, as you go in there, you find Zimmel moving around a few loaves of bread and seems to be messing with some salted meat that he looks to be trying to prepare. He kind of glances back at you and says, "Oh, almost didn't hear you come in."
Yeah.
You look a bit like shit.
You should see the uninvited guest. It's annoying when someone muscles into your job and takes a share of your work. But He did a little bit of work, so I can't complain too much.
Well, it's always good to get more allies, but that's just what I've always thought.
It's good to get more useful allies. At least from what I've noticed, he's only doing something we have someone more skillful in anyway.
Well, he could possibly reveal a possible use in the future.
All I know is that if he takes a liking to the bard, there's no way for us to get rid of him. He can fly, he'll be able to catch up if we try to leave him behind.
He chuckles to himself and grabs the thing of meat that he has and moves over to what looks to be, you would consider it a stove. It's almost like a grill that you would have within the building, that he just kind of like begins to shift stuff that's within it and then like pulls out a box of matches and is attempting to light this thing as he's kind of chuckling at you, at your comment.
Magnus would just like take out his own tinderbox and like, because he's usually the one who has to light fires and shit, so would just be a lot faster at it and just light it for him. What are you planning on making?
Just cooking some of the salted meat that we have and possibly toasting a bit of this bread. I don't know. Just throwing something together.
If any grease melts from the meats, you can toast the bread in it. It's better than butter.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Wish I thought of that sooner. He's gonna start grilling these as after he scrapes the thick layer of salt that's on each of these slabs of meat. He's gonna begin to grill them on the space. Is anyone else doing anything during this time?
No, it's
Just sleeping.
Journey.
I'm just watching
You're
our
just hanging out
guest.
with him. You're hanging out with the guest.
Yeah, being as much of a
Andraka, I
nurse as
assume,
I
is
can.
just yeah. Andraka, I assume, is hanging out in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So time passes as you all relax. Food is prepared. You're all kind of. We'll consider this a long rest if you guys need one.
My spell slots.
Yeah, thank you, spell slots. They're back. I can do things.
Yeah, I used both of my 4th level spell slots.
You know, you still can learn spells, Journey, right?
Yeah.
You know what? You can learn one more spell.
What?
I mean, you can learn one more spell. You have one less spell than you could possibly have.
Oh, nice. I'll do that between sessions.
Yep. But you all recoup, reorganize yourselves. Is there anything else you guys would like to attempt to do during this session, or shall we end it here? This is a shorter one than normal, but there wasn't a whole lot for this,
yeah.
and you guys got a hold of the money a lot faster than I expected from this. There is more going on in the city, though. So you
Oh,
have
I
a
know
whole
what I
city
want to do.
explore. What would you like to do?
I want to talk to Icarus, the recently resurrected.
Yes.
So
You enter the garage sometime after he's slipped out there. You find him huddled over his workstation with various vials and tubes, things that seem to be cooking underneath or over a small fire, while other things are mixing together and things of that nature. Pretty much a chemistry thing going on where he's like got all kinds of stuff going on.
I'll lean
he
against
just-
the. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say he does not notice you come in.
I'll lean against the doorway and I'll ask, any pieces missing?
He pauses for a moment and glances. He says, What do you mean?
And it's not every day somebody bounces back from being dead.
That sounds very close to flirting for some reason.
It does feel like flirting. He says, It isn't my first time dying. And the only gaps that I have is what I missed when I was gone.
We didn't miss much.
Sounds
So,
like I missed some endeavor of creatures I've only heard rumors of.
yeah, but it could be worse. They took care of the thief for us. Uh, anyway, I have an idea of how I want to spend my reward.
And what might that be?
Well, your boss, when he ran into us in was it Rapture? Rapture. Reclaimed his sand speeder, and well, those are very useful for getting around the desert. And well, you know, back in the junkyard, there's the remains of some kind of scrap golem that friend Magnus decapitated. And I was wondering, if I give you some gold, if you might be able to rebuild that into some kind of transport for us.
I can. Once I've done my research on this, I could make an attempt if there's still anything left there.
I'd appreciate it.
Scrappers that probably have picked off of the corpse by now, but
And that's what I'm afraid of.
if there
I
isn't,
intentionally marked the gate with some blood on the way out, hope to deter any scavengers.
to be honest, that probably would attract individuals who would be looking for easy pickings.
Yeah, it's distressingly probably true. Well, no, I'm glad you got that head of yours back on your shoulders, and well, if you can do, I'd be happy to pay you in gold if you can fix up whatever's left.
If I do not find anything, I can probably find another cruiser for you to get your hands on.
That's good. Not quite as cool as prowling around the desert dunes on some kind of mechanical dragon beast, but it'll do. I'm sorry for taking up your time. I'll let you get back to it.
Oh, it is nothing. He kind of turns back to his work and continues his very in-depth research of this blood. Wow, he is rolling super high for these checks.
Oh.
You guys get into the night, resting. You all get resting and sleeping. Errol. You hear in the night as you are sleeping. You have struggles sleeping yourself. Roll another con save for me.
I was gonna say during the night I'm probably up.
He's an owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for the time. Let's roll.
You caught on.
Yes. roll a con save for me though, just due to some more resting.
Okay.
See how well you actually did sleep before this point.
Okay. 10.
10. Okay. While you were sleeping, you were hearing a voice within your head. Where did my note go? I had a. Give me 1 second.
Yo, do I have the Venom symbiote now?
Where did my notepad go?
Yeah, we'll contact Eminem to write a rap for you.
You hear a voice within your head. What languages do you speak again?
1 sec. Common, deep speech, Sylvan, and Thieves' Camp.
You understand the voice.
Oh, great.
It is in Sylvan that it is speaking. And you hear... The words coming from the voice don't seem to make sense in the order that they're coming. They seem to... But they almost seem like commands of hunting for something or someone. And some of the words come to you as find others, bring them to us. And through your rough time of trying to sleep, you gain a point of exhaustion due to you not sleep. You're getting all your first session ever, and I'm just giving you status effect after status effect. I feel really bad. You have a point of exhaustion though, which really doesn't do anything because you're already poisoned.
There we go.
Though, as you are up in the night, well, you can't really do much. You're blind. You could move around, but it would be a little difficult. But you are awake.
You could use your stick to kind of feel around.
This is where I wish I took blind fighting, like Red said.
It's actually something that I essentially take every time I have the chance to have it, because it's something I'm like, if I go blind, I need to be able to see within 10 feet of me without being able to see.
Yeah.
I would say you would be able to figure your way through the building pretty quietly, even though you can't see because of your background.
I'm just gonna kind of wander. I'm on the second level, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to make my way downstairs.
Okay, it takes you some time. You do end up getting downstairs, and you can hear when you're down here, you hear a voice coming from what sounds to be another room or outside, while there's also someone. It sounds like someone is sleeping within this room. The deep, consistent, like breathing of somebody who's resting, probably on the couch or one of the chairs.
I'm gonna go check out the couch real quick, and then on the way go over towards the door.
So are you trying to make contact with the individual to figure out who it is?
I'm just gonna try to look, see if I can figure out in my blind state.
You kind of reach around and feeling where you're seeing, you make contact with fur. And you hear the grunting of the tabaxi that you had encountered throughout the day, a trinket, who grumbles in her sleep a bit before shifting.
Spin around, heading towards the door. I'm trying to follow the voice at this point.
Okay, so you kind of make your way over to this door, and as you get to it, you hear it open in front of you, and you can see the outline of a individual. Very faintly, you can see this outline. You hear the voice say, "Oh, I didn't realize anyone was awake."
Who are you?
I am the one who is testing your blood.
The voices tell me to collect.
Excuse me?
I don't know either. I'm gonna go explore. Just walk between his legs.
He's gonna say, "Wait, before you go too far," and he kind of places a hand, or he tries to place a hand on your head. It's not exactly easy. He has to crouch for this. He says, "Tell me how this helps you." And you feel a needle inject into the side of your neck. There's a moment. I need you to roll a con save, actually. Roll another con save for me.
Flat?
Yeah, flat con save.
Please. Finally. 18.
Your vision comes back. And you find yourself looking into this garage space where there is a very beaten up vehicle that looks like that of a head of a cobra, with the hood stretched out to make a platform on the top of it. And you feel better. So all of your status conditions, except for the exhaustion, go away.
Let's go.
You are not poisoned. You are not blind. You are just exhausted, which is an easy fix. You just take a rest. And you can now see again. And as you glance back towards this individual, you see a tall, tan-skinned individual. One of his eyes is a bright amber color. The other one a frost blue. Black hair. And you do also notice that his eyes are shaped like that of a reptile, almost that of a snake. And he gives you He gives you a smile, and he says, "Well, it appears to have worked."
So what are you exactly?
I am what you would call a Yuntine.
Hmm,
Pure blood.
I don't know if I've encountered many of those on my journeys.
Most of my kind tend to stick to the swamps of Andarth.
Hmm, I
Yes.
don't think I've been there yet.
Well, you are one of the few lucky that has heard of the place and not gone. Most do not go, and those who do generally are not happy when they get there and generally don't leave.
Well, sir, you have my thanks for curing whatever this is. How can I pay you?
There's really no payment. I now have a cure to something that I didn't realize was an issue.
Are you a doctor then, or a scientist?
Practitioner would be a better term. I do not study just anything of science, or I do not just study science or medicine, more of everything.
Hmm. I might need to talk to you sometime about that, but at the moment, I'm a bit sleepy.
Well, you enjoy your rest.
Is it? How cold is it outside right now? I think
Um, going to check. It's a bit cold. It's not frigid by any means, but it is. It is cold. Um, you do know by this point of the year, it is beginning to become winter. You guys are a few days out from winter, which means, based on what you had heard in your travels through the desert so far, it gets very cold in the winter.
I don't think I'm resistant to cold, even though I did grow up in Riverdale.
You would know how to survive the cold. You would not be resistant to it.
I was about to see if I could just perch on the roof like a fucking owl, but alas.
The lizard is on the roof.
Wait, what? Why?
Because that's where he sleeps, because he's stubborn.
Always on the roof. We always have beds, and he always sleeps on the roof.
Is there a fire by any chance?
Not within the building. There's not a fire made. There's still the scent of uh, cooked meat and what you would essentially call a grill.
I'm just gonna find a cabinet, either upstairs or downstairs, that is big enough to fit me inside and climb in.
You do find a cabinet. It has stuff in it. I assume you take everything out of it, though.
Yeah, I'll just neatly place it out front, go to sleep.
All right, so you've claimed a cabinet within the kitchen with all of its contents just set before it. All right. So you all get a rest. Take the full 8 hours of rest. You can take your point of exhaustion away now because you are taking a long rest.
Oh,
Um, as the morning comes, is there anything any of you wish to do on this morning? As you all wake up. Andraka, roll an endurance or con save for me.
13.
You have a point of exhaustion due to the cold nipping at your body throughout the night. And you have not slept well. And it takes you a long time to get up in this morning as your body is rigid and cold. Everyone else, you wake up feeling rejuvenated. Trinket wakes up on the couch, which you did see Trinket passing through the living room after you had encountered her white blind. She is asleep on the couch when the rest of you come down. Kind of face first into the back of the couch. trying to block out the light.
I'm in the cabinet to get
Yeah,
rid
you're
of the
you're
light.
asleep. You're asleep in the cabinet. Journey and Magnus would be the first two to get up, probably.
Magnus just goes downstairs, and wakes up Trinket. It's just like, we've already done what we were supposed to do here. It's time to leave this horrid place.
Sure. She kind of rubs her eyes. She says, "Where do you want us to head to?"
Yeah, no, we're usually by this point in like a city, like a somebody or something guides us where we're supposed to go next.
What the hell are you talking about?
I mean, after we were done in Rapture, we got our job to come here. After our time with like the weird furry bar, we had we were told about that guy in the desert, and that led us to Rapture. You know,
Just
there's
made
usually
I
we're
mean,
it always
are we
feels like we're being led
supposed
by
to
the
do
nose.
something else here?
I mean, like contractually, no. It just always feels like fate's leading us by the nose towards where we need to go.
Did you just
Well,
make
there's
fun of my
somewhere in...
bar of lycanthropes, bro?
Yes. Well, there is somewhere in Tiberia we're supposed to ask about whatever carving or rune that one of us found.
Well, you know what? That sounds like as much of like a direction to go as any.
And it's better, it's closer to home, and that's all I really want to care about.
Yeah, we'll have to secure transportation.
I can steal a boat from Tiberia. I've stolen enough from them already.
Oh, aren't we in the middle of the desert? What are we gonna do with a boat?
Tiberia has very large coastlines.
We're not in Tiberia. We're in the middle of wherever the hell this is.
I have been talking about Tiberia
And I've been
for
talking.
almost half this conversation.
I've been talking about getting out of Mirage for almost half this conversation. So we'll need a boat to get passes to Tiberia. Okay.
No. I need a boat to finally get back home because of this goddamn fool's errand.
We could try to go to the city of Pearl Bay, I want to say. You see Trinket pull out a map and she looks. She says, "Yeah, Pearl Bay, most southern point of the Outlands. We could go there and try to secure transport."
Port. It would be a lot of goods and services. A lot of work to be done. It would be a good layover, I think.
At least then I wouldn't need to step into the lands of Tiberia with not my raiding party. Tired of this bullshit. Why the hell did any of us even meet each other to begin with?
We all had a dumbass dream. We all ended up in the same place. Half the idiots split off and went somewhere else. Some of our people wander into the desert, never be seen again.
Well, it's obviously a
stole from
cosmic
Journey.
joke.
I just stole from Journey once and paid her back. That's really the extent of my story. Wrong place at the wrong time, I guess.
Obviously, the majority of us have found ourselves due to some cosmic fucking joke, and I'm done playing it. Pearl Bay is as good a place as any.
All right.
Speak to Chris about acquiring transportation.
Well, that depends on if you really want to go all the way to Pearl Bay, because last I checked, the meat grinder is only home to me. If you're trying to get home, you have to go back north.
I don't have any desire to go home.
I thought we were doing some kind of cosmic vision quest. And I haven't been told by any signs or anything to go back to Almoria.
Have we gotten any signs after that little fucking cosmic fluke that threw 50 different people in a single guild hall?
Was really cramped. Maybe
Whatever
it was
the
a
hell it
cosmic
is, it was
joke.
some stupid fucking joke. There's nothing to do. It doesn't matter. Just... Yeah, would have been better not to have listened to that bullshit if I had anywhere better to go.
Trinket just kind of sitting there awkwardly now, twiddling her thumbs.
You seem awfully eager to go home all of a sudden. Change.
I am in a... Do you see what I am? I am supposed to exist within mountains and frozen wastes and riding a raiding ship across the seas, the fucking desert. It's a disgusting fucking place, dry and hot all the time. It's annoying. The only good kind of sand is on a beach, not out here where there's not even fucking water.
Correct. There is no good type of sand. It gets everywhere.
I don't know
I
what
see.
sick fucking joke whatever greater powers of this world have played on us, but I just want to go home. I want to find some
Tensions are
capable
high.
fighters and raid somewhere.
I'm going to talk to Icarus, see about getting us transportation down south, and if you really want to leave so much, then you can leave.
Take that transportation and take it back to your own home. And yeah, Magnus is just gonna walk to Pearl City.
Pearl Bay.
Pearl Bay. I mean, he did walk across the entire fucking Outlands once.
Mm-hmm. So, well, we'll talk more about this afterwards, but I think I have an idea of what's going on here. Okay, what are the rest of you doing as Magnus not storms out of the building, but kind of leaves in a fashion that isn't the most formal?
Exhale. Well, that was incredibly uncomfortable.
I'm gonna climb out of the cabinet at this point.
Which you're out of sight of them. 'Cause you're in a
Yep.
different room.
Did I hear that? Was I close enough to hear that shit?
You would have heard
going down?
part of it. You would have heard part of it. It probably would have woken
Alright.
you.
He said raiders and going back, which has piqued my interest. Because I have some question for some raiders.
Yeah, was involved in that kind of stuff.
Also, I second the whole fuck the desert because I'm from Tiberia.
Trinket kind of sits there and just... Am I the only one who hasn't found it to be that bad?
I'm from the coast, not quite used to like this dead heat. You know, I kind of like a little bit more humidity.
Like,
But I don't want to stab the desert. I'm not that point, okay, Trinket?
True, I guess.
Okay. What do you think, Andraka? What wisdom does
Andraka's
that
still on
big
the
brain
roof.
of yours contain?
Andraka's still on the
I'm-
roof. He's still trying to get up.
Still, yeah,
He's
I'm
still
on the roof.
Andraka? He's still on the roof, isn't he?
I'm gonna go check on him.
Yeah, you do that. Okay, Trinket, our muscle just bailed on us after like undergoing some kind of breakdown.
don't think that was breakdown. He's been talking about wanting to go home for some time.
Maybe to you.
I'm gonna be kicking Andraka awake.
Andraka is awake. When you get up there, he's awake. He's just moving really slow. Like, he's like almost in slow motion.
Ah, come on, Grandma. Let's go.
Andraka?
I just stare at him.
You don't get jokes, do you?
I'm just picturing Andraka has the same stare of like a blue-tongued skank. Like that just soulless stare, but he's got like a slight smile that just naturally forms on his face, and he's just staring.
You're like, yeah, that's mildly unnerving. I'm gonna head up into the air a little bit, see if I could see Magnus.
You do see him. He is just traveling towards the southern end of town.
Just gonna hover.
Journey, you said you were going to try to talk to Incarus?
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend, the undead.
Yeah.
Or undying. You find him. You find him within his room. The door is open, and you find him in the process of carving a rune within the wall near the window. And he kind of glances back towards you and says, "Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Is there a problem?"
And Magnus just left. That's a bit disconcerting. Thought we were getting on quite well, but he just had I almost had a nuclear meltdown. But I don't think we have that in this fantasy world. No, he left like a bat out of hell.
I see. I assume you're wanting to try to get transport.
Yeah. Nice drawing on the wall. What is it?
It's a protection ward of sorts. I'm trying to prevent another assassination.
And that'll probably improve your health. Yeah. Transportation. You had a
Yes,
chance to look over at that Hulk over in the junkyard?
I sent my familiar that way, and there's nothing really left of it, unfortunately. Most likely, future dune racers wishing to use the parts, considering they are immune or resistant to the acids that my vehicle would produce. They're probably trying to come up with tactics against me.
Was that bastard Magnus took the only intact part of that? That's a bust. Okay. You said you might be able to scare us up another sand speeder.
Yes. One moment, and you watch him walk over to the small desk and pulls out a piece of paper, begins jotting some stuff down on it before rolling it up, and with a snap of his fingers, a small jackal appears by his side.
Neat.
And he reaches down and hands it the parchment, and you watch as it quickly runs towards the window, and it leaps out and lands onto the street and begins to dash off.
Now, the name Sand Speeder. Does that imply it only runs in desert conditions? Or
It essentially can run anywhere. It's just you only ever see them, and they're called dune cruisers. He says you only
dune cruisers,
seen them
sand speeders.
within the outlands. Not many use them to move along other places. I assume they would probably work in grasslands or even the snow.
Excellent. How much?
Well, when I get word back, I do have someone that will bring one this way, and he will probably charge roughly somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 gold pieces.
I can afford the low end.
Yeah, they
I
are a
might be able
bit expensive to make, but I assure you they will last you a long time.
Might be able to convince Trinket and Andraka to put some money in the pool. No, Andraka was particularly smitten with that first one. We scared up.
Yes, if it wasn't my own that I'd been trying to get back for some time, because it does have a few custom things with it that I implemented, I would have been happy to give it back, but alas, it has some personal ties to it that I wish to keep.
Right. This one, if it's not already modified to this specification, would it be possible to get it modified to have at least 10 feet wide and 10 feet long cargo area?
It would be roughly the same size as the one that you had found. Well, mine.
What was that?
It was like 8 feet wide, like 15 feet long.
Could I get the width adjusted?
It would take some time, but if you're thinking of using the tiny hut on it, it would work.
Yeah.
With the 8 foot. It would work.
I'm just making sure it's like a 10-foot radius, and making sure it's very secure.
Yeah, it would work with that essentially. Like you wouldn't have issues, technically. Technically speaking, it says it's the only improvements that I made with mine were a few protective wards and a ward that only I am able to track, which hence why I was able to find all of you.
Andy, I'll talk with the others, see if there's any adjustments they want made. I'm sure Andraka has some ideas.
Yes. I should get word back along with the new cruiser within probably the hour.
Excellent. I'll confer with the others. Thank you again.
Yes, no problem. It's the least I can do.
Okay. I'll return to the kind of living space. The others.
Fly back in.
Where's
Trinket just
Andraka?
been sitting there by herself. Andraka, are you still on the roof?
Yeah.
He's just chilling in the sun now. He's trying to get his strength
I'll
back.
walk outside. Hey, Andraka, we're buying a new Dune cruiser.
How much do I owe you for my portion?
Come down and we can discuss it. You can talk with Icarus about any adjustments I'm gonna make. I expect you'll be the driver.
Speak with each other about this. I'm gonna walk off for a second.
Get down here.
Journey, I'll pay you for whatever you need, but I might see if I can go get my hands on a bag of holding. I'm a little too small to be lugging around a backpack.
Okay. Stay safe.
Really, just let me know how much I owe you when I get back.
You don't owe us anything.
What do you mean?
And you're new, so.
Still gotta pay my part.
I'll look at him. So you're joining the group then? I guess we're down a number. Okay.
You seem entertaining. I came here originally to find purpose, and it's not like I could go back home anymore.
I knew that.
to scare you.
And you're not an 8-foot edgelord with an attitude problem, so I appreciate your contributions to the group.
God, this has been a session of shade. I swear to God.
I'll put out a hand and shake it. Shake his wing. Welcome aboard.
All right. Yeah. I just said I was gonna help pay, and then I was gonna go see if I could find a bag of holding since
So we're not gonna
I'm an
RP that.
owl.
You do find a bag of holding. It's
Okay.
roughly 100 gold pieces.
All right, I'll subtract that.
This is the one of inter-party tension.
Yes. While this is happening, Magnus, we're gonna go back to you real quick. As you are traveling south to the southern exit of the city, as you near this exit and you see the archways of this exit, you notice by this exit there is a blue kobold with very familiar markings, similar to tattoos of your own, that is standing near this exit, kind of leaning against a wall, cloak on, but just part of the cloak is it's more of a hood with a cape with a hood, and his arms are revealed that are showing these markings. And he's sitting there with his arms crossed. You see on his back he has a small for you, small warhammer that is on his back with his arms crossed as he's sitting there. And he kind of glances towards you, eyebrow kind of rising as he looks in your direction. You don't particularly recognize this kobold, but the markings give you the tattoos, and he kind of pushes off the wall and kind of approaches you and says, "I didn't think I would see you around here."
Blood Gulch. Where do you raid for?
Now I gotta fucking remember the place. Strixhaven.
Well, at least Strixhaven isn't full of weaklings. I need to get back to Blood Gulch. We need to tally the dead. I lost my party.
It seems that has been the trend recently. Rumors I've heard from Blood Gulch. There was an attack not too long ago. 13 people missing.
I can't worry about that now. It's been too long. I need to get back to the Ancestor Tavern. We have to tally the dead before their souls are lost to the waters.
Have you, by chance, and I've been hearing rumors of 2 individuals like this, but apparently the attack was a Aarakocran female and some hooded companion of hers with a very lethal hammer.
Oh, fuck.
Are they still in the homeland?
It is unsure, but we know that they're the reason there are 13 people missing.
I can't worry about that now. We need to tally the dead. I don't know how you do it in Strixhaven, but we can't leave the dead unaccounted for this long. It's a problem. It's a fucking affront to everything we believe.
There are brothers who are taking care of that as we speak.
I'm the last one of my party. I'm the only one who can do this. I need to get back home.
I could offer aid. I was thinking of going home anyways. My work is far from over, but these recent events have led me to go back.
It's a goddamn problem. I've been stuck in this damn desert for too long. I just need to put their souls to rest, so the faster we can go, the better. I'm not losing more. Not this time.
Yeah, if that is the case, we should probably begin traveling now. He kind of turns towards the exit and he kind of gestures. Shall we?
March, double time it.
Of course. He begins moving with you, and as he's going, he says, I already know who you are. Your name is familiar. For me, just call me Sins.
Since
Yes.
odd name. I won't judge.
Well, I was a very odd one within the town, so it only makes sense.
Grow up in Strixhaven, or were you a conscript?
I'm not from there, but I do not remember my time before there.
Conscript. It's always nice to know they still recruit good fighters.
Only one of the best. And
Magnus just takes a second and looks at this kobold and it's just, you must understand. On any other time, if there were any other from my raiding party alive, I would not care for my own life, but the only reason I need to get home alive is I am the son of one of our witches. Of course, I need to be the one to tally their souls. We may as well spit in the face of our own god if I don't.
then let us make sure you get home safely. And you two begin to run off into the desert. The rest of you do acquire your dune cruiser. Pretty
They
much
probably
almost
have 500 split between the four of us or whatever.
roughly, yes. So if you would each, the four of you who are with the party would like to split off 500,
500. Okay.
that will pay for your cruiser. And where do you guys wish to start traveling to with your cruiser?
I need to go shopping.
You need to go shopping? What are we shopping for?
I need rations.
Did Magnus take all of those nutrition beads?
Bead of nourishments? Yes. He took all
Yeah.
30 of them. He didn't tell anyone he had them. He just took them. Okay, yeah. You can easily get rations. How many are
I
you
think
wanting?
it's fine. I think I have some beads of nourishment from a previous dungeon.
You guys got it from the undead layer thing that I had thrown you guys in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. So, in Draka, though, if you want to get rations, I typed ratio. Wow, this is
plus ratio.
So you can get rations for roughly 5 silver apiece. So if you want to do the math for that, how many are you wanting? I'll do the math for you.
20.
10 gold pieces. You have 20 rations now. Congrats.
I should stock up a little bit more on my rations. I have 13, so I guess I'll get 7 more.
Trinket has 12.
8 more. I'll
So-
buy 15 rations for the two of us.
Okay.
How much would that cost? 15.
15 would be 7 gold and 5 silver.
Okay, 5 silver, 7 gold.
How many for 10 rations?
5.
Oh, yeah.
5 gold.
I can't subtract 0 from my silver. What should I do?
Subtract 1 from your gold, add 5 to your silver.
Okay.
Because it
Thank
takes
you.
10 silver pieces to make a gold.
There we go. No, I'll adjust my rations.
So the group of you all go on this little spree of gathering resources that you might need. Now, where do you wish to go?
Trinket, you said something about Tiberia, didn't you?
That was me.
That was Magnus said something, and Earl from Tiberia he mentioned.
Earl, you got any ideas about what we could do up in Tiberia?
I'm not allowed back to my town.
Okay, not going back there then.
We can go elsewhere. However, I may or may not have killed off a group of raiders. So I
I'm
don't know.
looking around over my shoulder, making sure Magnus isn't looming. No great loss.
So I don't genuinely know. When I was there, I spent most of my time inside the city until it was attacked. And
The raiders?
after, yes, I was part of a guard, a shadow guard for our town. That's why I learned the way of the shadow from the monks there. But the raiders killed my family, so I took their lives instead.
Seems a fair trade to me.
Well, the monks don't agree with that. And honestly, after the fact, I don't either. But
What?
if you think we should go to Tiberia, I don't know.
I think
They're
Scales over here
famous.
would freeze his tail off if we went to Tiberia.
Yes, we might need to get a magical item for him. That was the case.
What do you think,
Fine.
Trinket? Got any ideas?
We would definitely need to gather resources.
Oh, I don't mean by going Tiberia, I mean anywhere in general. We've got our own dune cruiser. We can go wherever.
I don't have anywhere particularly in mind. It's I guess, up to you. If we went home, I don't know what is exactly happening back in Almoria.
I haven't heard any news out of there for a while.
I don't think news reaches this far south, generally.
It might be good to see the family again. No, go back to somewhere a bit more hospitable before we go back into the inhospitable.
I am looking for. Well, I don't know if it even exists, but my masters used to talk about an item. I've been searching for it for a little bit. Gives me something to distract myself.
Lots of
So
items in
maybe
the world.
along
What you looking for?
there are a pair of gloves that are said to wield the power of souls.
Sounds spicy.
Mm,
Masters say where they might be located.
no, the texts don't have any idea, just that they might exist.
What do you think, Andraka? Back to Almoria, then up to Tiberia? Down, whichever direction. Trinket, hand me that map. I'm spatially confused.
She hands you her map.
Where is Almoria, anyways?
Almoria's to the north.
Northeast.
Northeast.
It's my character's home country.
From where you guys are at the moment, and if you were to go into the Scale of Fate planning chat that we have, the map is there.
I'm looking at the map right now.
You are in Mirage right now, which is to the southeast of the Oasis in the center of the Outlands.
Mm-hmm.
This is your map.
Straight north would get you to Sandhelm.
Gee, what are all those heads? These are the faces of evil.
Why do I know this quote but don't know where it's from?
It's from Zelda CDI.
That's why? Okay. I was like, I know this quote, but where?
I'm actually gonna walk away and go find Incarus.
Okay. You find him, he is just leaving his sleeping quarters.
I'm gonna pull out the drawing and show it to him and ask him if he's seen this person.
That face does seem familiar, but the last I saw him, he was speaking with a merchant. What was his name? He was very ecstatic and very boisterous. I want to say it was Reginald was his name. Tabaxi, who travels around in a cart. That was the last man I saw speak to him.
You know where he is or where he might be?
Reginald or the individual that you are seeking?
Reginald.
I believe he went north.
Okay, and I'm gonna just walk away. Back to the group.
All right. He
Any
just
place. Oh.
kind of stands there as you walk off without him.
Well, Andraka, any place you want to go?
I'd rather go to Pearl Bay.
Let's. Ooh. I could scout ahead. Actually, I have a question. This is just out of character. Would I be able to catch up with Magnus and all of them if I flew at max speed?
Yes. You are significantly faster than every single person in this party.
Yeah,
Jesus
they're trudging through the
Christ.
sand. You're a bird.
My
Monks.
entire goal with this character is to max speed.
That is a monk. Monks are for max speed.
Player classes known.
I love that so much.
Hedgehog, Sonic the.
Yes. Straight
Sonic
up.
the Owl.
Oh my lord.
Okay. You know what?
Blue
Maybe we
Kobold
should
Sonic make him a
set
monk.
course down for Pearl Bay. I mean, the
So-
northern part of Tiberia doesn't look particularly horrible according to this map.
So
Hop over to Siroa.
we're pursuing Magnus?
I'm not. I'm going to Pearl Bay. They can do whatever they want.
I'll go to Pearl Bay and I might head over to Stone. Is that Stone Helm? Yeah, it looks like it. I'll head over to Stone Helm, maybe. Might
Gotta
attempt.
read. Stonehelm is not a place. You might be thinking of Sandwall, which is to the
Well, there's
west.
Stonehelm down in Tiberia.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that
and
not a
Tiberia
H?
is. Let me double check.
Can't tell if it's a B or an H.
That is
Stonebelm.
Stonehelm. You would know. This is something you would know. Stonehelm isn't exactly a city, but a group of bear humanoid tribes that are very violent.
They might be of some use.
Based on what you know, because Riverdale's close enough to them to know this, like they're at like constant battle with each other unless an outside force comes in, and then they all team up to fight the force.
Yeah. That might be useful.
What do you think, guys? Head down to Pearl Bay, take a ferry over to Siroa.
Where's Sorella? Where the fuck?
I think he's talking about Sarda.
Oh, Sarda. I thought it was
The
an O.
text, yeah, the text makes it look funny. It's Sarda. No, it's Saros. Sorry, even I can't read. It's Saros.
Yeah, I'm
Looks like
down.
an A. It's
The
Saros.
the font I picked was not a smart font.
This is an in-universe conversation on the map.
Yes. Trinket is confused just as much as everyone else.
Whatever it's called, that one. It's pointing at the map. No, we take the Dune Cruiser over there. It said it doesn't just work on sand. It provides able transport that we don't have to feed.
We would just
Ooh.
we would have to hope that Whoever we do get aboard on a ship with allows or has space for such a thing?
We could grease their palms. Everyone has a price.
That is true. I guess you are correct. But we will need to get cold weather gear for some of us. And she kind of looks over
Yes.
at Andraka.
Well, the northeastern section of Tiberia doesn't look quite as cold as the rest of the. No, we might be able to stock up on cold weather gear up there. I doubt they're selling it here in the Outlands. Why would you need cold weather gear here?
You're probably correct. And Pearl may have something, but well, we would have to get there to find out.
I'll start
We don't-
loading up the speeder.
All right.
Who are the two people that are in this building? The other, like, NPCs?
Zimmel, which was the half orc, and Incarus, which is the UNT who cured you.
I'm gonna go talk to Icarus while they're loading up.
Okay. You find Incarus he is now in the living space with a tome in front of him that he seems to be reading from.
I ask him what that is.
It's a book of magic. Why are you curious in the arts?
I never really excelled at magic, but I do have an interest in magical items.
I see. And what sort of magical items have sparked such interest?
My masters mentioned a pair of gloves. I didn't know if you might have an idea of where I could look for them. They're called gloves of soul catching.
Such an item has evaded my research, though I am not a expert in the items developed for monks in particular. Most of the items that I've learned about are simple enchantments and items that grant protection against such things. And of course, the swords of which I am attempting to retrieve back that I had recently lost.
You lost some swords?
Yes, a pair of blades, two rapiers, one of which was branded in frost, and the other the ability to ignite.
Hot and
Which
cold.
Are
Good
my
combo.
specialties. Heat and frost are my specialties.
Well, we're gonna be heading out, but I might be able to look around to see if your thief is nearby, if you happen to know anything about them.
It won't be long until I have rediscovered them. I have eyes currently keeping watch and attempting to track.
One more thing before I go. Do you have anything to help with healing or medicine in general?
I may have a healing potion or two within my private supply.
I didn't know if you had any books on some medicine.
I do not, unfortunately. Though that would probably be a worthy investment, but well, I have a tendency to craft my own substances that aid.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for earlier. I owe you. I'm in your debt now.
It was nothing. You presented me with an opportunity to research something I'd never seen. And for that, I am grateful.
Well, I wish you a farewell, sir.
To you
I
as well.
appreciate the hospitality.
It has been good having both you and your allies around. Makes things interesting.
What a dip. I don't know if it'd be useful at all to get a book of medicine. But
You would have to gain proficiency. The Book of Medicine might give you proficiency with medicine over a
Which-
time period of like research.
Mhm.
You would need healer's kit, and you have to have proficiency with said healer's kit in order to like actually do any kind of healing outside of potions.
Okay.
It would be a process. I would allow it. You would have to make a series of checks over a period of time, and you could learn, but it'd be a process.
I might just stick to going fast.
All right. So you all are heading south.
Yep.
No.
Down to the
Shit.
port. Down.
We might even catch up with the other group.
So as you all begin to travel your way south, you are a few hours behind Magnus. Though reaching the end of the day, you do spot Magnus and another figure in the distance. Their forms getting closer as you ride towards them as the sun is setting. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
I see.
That was a good session. That was fun. I'm
Good
really
RP,
sorry.
Dread.
I'm really sorry about the 100 status conditions that Earl had to experience. I've never given one character so many status conditions so quickly before.
Oh, when introduce somebody to the complexities of the system, huh?
You learned a lot. I taught you
I learned
everything you needed
quickly.
to know.
Yeah.
You
I'm
learned.
very familiar with the condition bar now.
It's a good thing to be familiar with because it is something that will come back over and over again. Though, when you get to a certain monk level, you won't have to worry about disease or poison no more.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
That'd be
Just
nice.
extreme mind over matter.
Yeah.
Just, oh, I'm poisoned? No, I'm not. Go away.
Just like you had poison on your blade? I didn't feel
I
it.
don't think so.
Okay, so on that note, that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Once I end the session, I will talk to Dread about some stuff because I want to confirm some things. Splitting the party is really hard.
Yeah.
Things get sour when you split the party, and it's not that you want it to go sour; it's just the way that it goes. On that note, though, I'm going to do my outro that we always do. So we hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, follow us on that Twitch for updates whenever we are streaming, so you can catch us in the next live stream. Join the Discord for a chance to talk to us and to get notifications, or join the Twitter, which I attempt to pre-announce all of the streams like a few hours in advance so that people know when the time is. And if you do enjoy these and you want to catch up, we have a beautiful YouTube page, perfectly crafted for you guys to be able to maneuver through and watch the episodes in order. And on that note, we do hope you guys enjoyed, and we hope to see you in the next one. Peace.